episode. Okay.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome back in. A couple hours left on a Friday afternoon here that's turning into a bit of a red end to an otherwise decent week for the overall market. A number of things factoring into that move. This afternoon, we'll touch on a few of those coming up here. To kick things off, a positive note, here is Bitcoin right now. That's on a daily chart. We are still holding up nicely on the day. So some of the crypto-related equities doing better than most here this afternoon. But yeah, 42,000 holding nicely as far as support for BTC this afternoon, looking pretty good. Here's Tesla, the big mover from yesterday, back to essentially flat on the day, kind of leaking off here this afternoon back towards that 180 area. Really has been kind of a nothing day as far as price action is concerned for Tesla, even though we are in a bit of a downtrend now. But I zoomed out here so we can have a look at this. Look at the volume at the, not only at the open today, but throughout the most of the day here, still as high, if not higher, than what happened yesterday. So a ton of volume on Tesla right across the board, basically flat as we saw on the day. There is a decent amount of green on this board, but definitely not enough to offset an otherwise pretty red day for tech here. Microsoft down half, Apple better part of 1%. Some of the chips getting hits on the back of that right there. Kind of hard to see, but 12% for Intel. We'll talk about that coming up here. QCOM, AMD though, AVGO, NVIDIA to name a few. Also all to the downside. Meta looks pretty good. Netflix, 2% to the upside for NFLX. Pretty good day. Mixed bank situation. They were mostly positive to start the day. A lot of them have kind of drifted lower, including JP Morgan, including Bank of America back in negative territory. Remember, we got Visa, we got AXP as well. American Express still holding on to 6%. Right there, 6% gain on the day. That's Visa down here, not so much, 1.7 downside. So pretty mixed as far as the board is concerned to wrap up the week. 0.6 right now for the NASDAQ, less than that for the S&P 500. There's a 3.4% kind of a day for Airbnb. Volume right now back towards the 147 area. I'm sure we'll get into why coming up here this afternoon. Remember, way back when, feels like a long time ago, this morning we got PCE data that came in lower than expected. Finally got a 2 print on the core side of things for PCE heading into the FOMC coming up next week. So it was a good look to start things off, guys, but we have leaked off here throughout the day.
Leaked?
We have definitely leaked to the bottom side.
Unless it's Bitcoin, you've like had like a flood or well, yeah.
It's not a flood, down 0.5.
No,
I mean, that one time Obi was here having heart palpitations and the market was like this, and all of a sudden it started to go down.
Well, but it gave up the entire range.
Yeah, it's
the entire range that got given up. Okay, fine. 0.5% is probably overstating it. It's the fact that we got to the top and then are back at the bottom.
I think when we left, I was down like 0.3. So now we're down 0.5.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I don't think we ever really got green.
It's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But no, I think that's why I like the terminology leak. I feel like we are dripping to the downside right now. You can see they're having like a little party here. What is this supposed to be, like a pill popping party? I don't know what this is over here.
We got almonds.
We've got almonds and
these are like little
the chocolate candy
eggs.
The caramel, yeah, the Cadbury mini eggs.
And then they each have like a little goblet of something.
These are my. Yeah, they're on a date. Okay, they're on a date. Ain't no bear, no dating, no bull. That's for damn sure.
Actually, the Bears got to date the bull because the bull's the only one that can pay for anything because it's a bull market, baby.
Yeah, unless
okay, well, except for right now.
unless you're riding with me and look at these shorts on the Qs. I've been tweeting it out just for fun like that. We're trading futures now, baby. The futures came back up to this high both times. We shorted it both times and absolutely destroyed. Like, obviously, we wish we would have waited for the ultimate bottom, but these Qs move so quick. I'm just gonna have to start to get used to it, but it was fun trading it when we did. So there it is, Qs, huge downside move. My #1 stock today by far is the triple Qs. We still got Roblox on as well. This name has been very disappointing. I mean, we had a great trade. That one trade, we could have reloaded it there. Actually, we weren't even here at lunchtime. We were out for a walk.
The position board's not right. Because you're
it shows long.
You're not long.
Oh, yeah.
I knew the position board was wrong. I'm like, but then
I was like, yep, those are my right positions, and I didn't even look.
Like, I'm not even in Funware. No, Rivian's correct.
People are going to be like, what the hell is this guy doing long the Qs?
No,
right
Firm
now?
is correct. Rivian's correct. I'm not.
That's okay.
They're
Fixing it now.
He's short those two. I knew it was wrong.
Okay, good.
I knew it.
People are coming in like, what?
See,
Like, why
made
is
me
this,
think
why
I
is
was
this
crazy.
dude happy? Yeah.
You thought, yeah.
Anyways, we'll get it figured out. So just flip those positions around, and then hopefully the prices will update. So we're short the Qs at 426.09 right now, $2.50 in the money or so. Okay, well we'll go through our board. It should be exciting. I don't know about the rest of Friday here. We're gonna digest some of these earnings.
Yeah, don't.
I feel like trading Tesla, AMD, Intel, Netflix, like
Chip names, make sure it's moving. Crypto names have been pretty good. The payment processors, you don't want to overtrade this afternoon.
Yeah.
They'll refresh that. And there's a really good chance at some point, like that, one of those eggs is going to be gone at least.
I might be gone right now.
I've been staring at them for a while. Anyways, let's
I don't
get
want to
on.
interrupt the date. I got to get permission from Ramin. First of all, why don't we have, like, we should have one each anyways. Like,
Well, I agree.
Did you go over there and steal any?
What makes you think that I stole one of Ramin's, like seriously, chocolate eggs?
What nuts? Did you
Like-
have one? No, you don't have to steal
No,
it.
like why would you make the assumption that I went over there and had one of Ramin's chocolate eggs?
Did he, Ramin?
Yeah, I had one of Ramin's chocolate eggs. Of course I did. Kind of a silly question is that. That was
Another one if you want.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ramin.
Ramin,
Cinematography going on. Airbnb doing this right now on heavy volume. It's worth mentioning here. So I'm still looking. I don't really see much on this, but 150 inbound in a hurry here for Airbnb. Maybe just blowing out some stops above 148 there, which was really the last closing high, 147, 148 for Airbnb. But yeah, looks good. Intel was on our minds this morning, as it should be. We'll get into what ends up happening here coming off this earnings report last night, as we were mentioning this morning. Worse than expected, really. I mean, it did try to bounce, but it was pretty meager.
Yeah, Brendo, they beat on the top and bottom line. However, it was the guide that really kept this one depressed and down over 10% today, Brendo. They're expecting between $12.2 to $13.2 billion in revenue for Q1. The street was looking for 14.15, so about a bit of a miss there of $1 billion. And they're also spending large on their foundry business, which is still very nascent and only bringing in about $290 million.
I still don't see much on this, guys, but huge volume behind this Airbnb move.
yeah, so like let's be real for a second. When you see a candle like this, my assumption is there's something that we don't know, and until I'm sure about it, I'm not, I'm not chasing that move. I'm not fading that move. I would suppose when there's no news, maybe you could fade like a 150. And when I say fade, for those, fade just means like shorted if it's ripping. Like,
Woohoo!
there it goes. Let's see how it works.
I punched some out of Roblox there and
you go.
flipped them.
Now the position board is.
There we go. It's right, Ramin. I need to take a fill.
So it didn't update. That's what.
Yeah,
it
it updates on my, like you said, the last time I took something out.
Yeah. So let's keep an eye on this Airbnb. That's all. Until we know what the news is, there's clearly something going on here. Good stock, good company. But we're supposed to be talking about Intel, I suppose.
Yeah. I didn't trade Intel today. I mean,
I had
we
one
traded
trade in
AMD.
Intel and that would have been fine if VWAP had actually decided to hold, and would have been fine the second time. I did short Intel off of VWAP right when we left you guys, and then it broke. We got out. I got out of it. I shouldn't say we, like somehow it's like more than one person doing it. But the other thing is I did trade Micron, MU, not MUA. There we go. There's actually a stock MUA, believe it or not. Yeah, so I was short Micron. I should have left it at short in the first pop. And I'll get into why in a second. So shorted it, worked, shorted it, kind of worked, shorted it, stopped out, shorted it, kind of worked, stopped out again. So it's been a battle on this, but it's trending to the upside. And the reason why I like this short instead of Intel was on the daily chart is essentially this. So you've been holding the same trend the entire year, well, calendar year anyways. And plus on Micron, and then it just wicked the top here at 90. So it's basically rejected 90. So I was just looking to be short into a flat bottom break of 87. But what actually happened is there was a liquidity grab at the open underneath that 87 level. So there's your wick bottom, and then it's been trending up ever since. That is a lot of times a reverse. We talk about that being a reversal pattern. So when the first short doesn't work and it's making higher lows, I made the decision, like I took some out there for a scalp trade, which was good, but I didn't need to reload it there. It's this trade that I shouldn't have gotten back into. Like once it's done that, ignore that wick kneel and notice the upward trend and just get away from it till it makes a top and then try shorting it on the back end of the trade. So you can always try to be a little bit better. I think that was a bit of a miss on Micron. However, I do still believe in this notion that it's making a top. And then you throw in the fact that Intel down big today. Tuesday, we're going to get AMD. Let's imagine a world that AMD isn't perfect. If AMD reverses the way that Intel does, then Micron off this 90 should be back at like the 50-period moving average on the daily. So I still believe in the short up here. I don't want to be longing Micron into a level like that until it either breaks it or dips significantly.
Is that true? SMCI is Monday? Didn't SMCI, what was that big, huge move that they had? Yeah, SMCI is Monday. Wow.
Well, that's
January
just as big.
29th. Things that make me go, is AMD because we had a monster recovery yesterday. We didn't have it today, but we don't have a monster loss today, which is a lot different. So we saw them turn the machines on, but we didn't see them turn it off. So they went up, then they went down. But the only thing that I'm noticing here again, the largest green, like I told you, every day, man, every day, even though I've been here for 22 years, I know I look 30, right? I mean, how could I be trading for 22 years? But, the thing is like, you finally get that top there, and it was the largest green candle of the day. Forget, sans the opening print. So I feel like we're on to something there. We're going to keep on watching it. We got out of the way. We took, some of these losses, we had taken more on the profit side than we had wound up in the loss, but the only trade that really worked early on the aggressive move down was this one, and that was right off the jump. So again, we see that candle down there and we recognize it. So that's all. We'll get it next time. For right now, we're short Roblox and the Qs, and we'll talk about crypto in a minute.
So this was Bloomberg a few minutes ago talking about this fee increase. So Airbnb planning to increase guest services fees, which I guess includes currency conversion fees for overseas rentals. So it seems like that had something to do with, that was Bloomberg though, so take it for what it's worth. That seemed like it was had something to do with why it bounced or moved higher. Let's go on. We were talking crypto this morning. We had a nice move for Bitcoin, as I showed there as we came on at 2 o'clock, back to 42 and then some, actually holding up here quite nicely for BTC specifically, but some of these stocks too.
Yeah, Coinbase had a decent day as well today, and Oppenheimer had a comment on Coinbase today, upgrading it to outperform, but maintaining that same $160 price target. The analyst believes that Coinbase will likely emerge favorably from this dispute with the SEC, either by prevailing in the lawsuit, Brendo, or a possible dismissal by the court. So Brian Armstrong's been pounding the desk against the SEC for a while. Let's see how he does.
It's been a rough 2024 so far, guys, for Coinbase on the daily chart, though.
Oh, I mean it's
Well, it wasn't
fine
their fault.
unless you want to drop like 30% or whatever the heck it is from the top. No problems there whatsoever.
I mean, it's not their fault they decided to come out with the ETFs, right? I mean, it was like Coinbase, they IPO'd at the top of the Bitcoin boom. They're at 66,000. Then it tanked. Coinbase was at one point a $350 stock. And now you're down to 125. We had it on the sticky note today. We had 128 long. We thought that with Bitcoin, we talked about it, with Bitcoin above 40,000, it's right here at 42. You can't see it now, but it is there, 42,000. I thought we'd go for a run on Bitcoin. But look, I did this sort of rant yesterday, the same thing. And it was for PayPal. That news came and started to go the other way, right? So this is what we did today. This is my number 2 stock. Like I've been trading all day. I have not too many fills, 200 fills today. Okay, but it came back in, and then there's that 125 that we talked about. We talked about taking some of these pre-market bottoms, so we did that. So it looks like it wants to work out. We hit it to the upside. It came back down. We took the 200 period moving average at 125 right there. Our out was going to be 124.50. That never hit. And then boom to the upside to 128. So it's a $1, $2, $3 winner right there to the upside. There's our 128 that we identified, but it never got there. There must have been a story here that cratered this basically down to yesterday's area. But again, you have to be here watching this to take advantage of that. So I feel like that's a great buy down there at 120. I think it's gone too far too fast. We did like the short up here for sure. I don't really know what to like now. So I'm disappointed. If you're a Coinbase shareholder, I feel like you have to be happy today because you're up 3%. I just thought it would have been more, considering Bitcoin dipped down into 37 or whatever the low was. I should probably find that out for the podcast. But now you're back up to 42 and change. So I really thought that we would have had a much better opportunity here for Coinbase to be higher than where it is. It's actually down off the open right now. So disappointed in Coinbase, but super happy with the trade. It's my number 2 stock.
It's about it didn't break 38. I think like 38 and a half. About
38. That was the bottom.
Like I don't have it breaking 38 on TradingView. But here's something interesting on Coinbase. So you look at the pullback, but on a weekly chart, have a look at these peaks. That's about 116. And then again in here at about 114, 115. So just shy of that 120 was like a double top. And then you had, I mean, obviously it was already accelerating, but like you moved into 120, but you accelerated past 120, and that's how you got up to that 180 spot. So remember, when you have a breakout like this, the faster it goes up, it can come down just as fast. But a bounce in front of those 20s and maybe even like 15, 16, I think is pretty healthy. If it holds on to this and Bitcoin holds on to 40,000, I think that would be a great sign for Coinbase. That said, I like Mara as a trade today, and most of the reason for it is because it had fallen more. Like Mara got cut in half from the top. Like if you're upset about Coinbase falling back since the ETF came in, then I don't know how you feel about Mara. Mara also has the short interest of over 20%. I think that's another thing that it had going for it. But I was one and done with Mara, and that could have been a bit of a mistake. Well, I think I talked about this. There was a secondary chance to get long. So anyways, there's Mara at like 17, 20. When it dipped this morning, I was looking for it to hold the 17 level. There's your wick under 17. Went long. It then wicked again, added to it, scalped to the pre-market top. Well, not the pre-market top, the open top of the range. Let it break, and then when it failed around 18 bucks, I just got out. It was this trade, maybe not this one. I was like, okay, let's calm it down at VWAP. It didn't hold it. But right in here, I had said, looking for the dip back into 17. I watched it go down. I was ready to pull the trigger, and then for whatever reason, I just didn't. Call it like a bad gut feeling. I don't even have a good reason, but I remember being up there, and I said I was going to do it live on the show. I'm like, oh yeah, we're waiting for it to get back into 17, look for a bounce higher low, go long on Mara again, and then didn't pull the trigger. So it's going to end up holding VWAP here. I think this could be a trade this afternoon. It's making lower highs. If it can start making some higher lows again, I'd probably just jump right back into this. But until you either wick VWAP, like wick underneath and recover, or start making some higher lows, I want to be patient with Mara. Up 10%.
All right, just wanted to wait for Neil to be finished there. We do have AMD, a brand new position. We just took a dime on it. I'm going to go short against 177. So we're short right now. I want to be short something into the close. We already have this monster trade on the Qs. We already have Roblox right now, and hopefully that spits down lower and lower and lower. So I'm just going to get a little frisky with it and try this trade. It's not going to be a big one. I'm going to get out on a 177 break. I mean, now that I see this, maybe not even 177.13. No. I'm going to get out if we break 177, 25 cents worth of risk. I just took out 20% or so of the position right there for a dime. We always do that. My next fill will be down here, 176. Well, I put one at 176.50 because it's a 50-cent level. I like that. And then we'll go right here, 176.27 or so for that bottom. So hopefully we do have a move to the downside for advanced micro devices. See, if I say it like that, it's a little more dramatic. Like,
Yes.
that's part of the training that we got for this. You know, dramatic pauses and things like that. So advanced
Actually,
micro devices.
This is really true. When we originally, the first green screen that we had, we used to do stuff in front of it and like point at charts, like trade of the day and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we actually had someone in broadcast like teach us, like we're weather people, like how you're supposed to talk to the screen and look at the chart. I actually was improving. I like to think I was getting better at it, then we stopped doing it.
I was getting worse.
I was terrible at it at first. I'm pretty sure I was getting better at it, but it doesn't really matter now. The position board's gone again. I'm still only short Affirm and long Rivian, but as far as crypto goes, like I said, if I get a VWAP trade off Mara, that's about it.
What happened
Looking
to the
for a bit of
position
a
board
bounce.
there?
No, I don't know, and I just took a fill somewhere else, punched in and out of like one of those buyouts, and it didn't actually.
It's like the AMD is like the one trade to rule them all. You see this, the minute I got into it,
It refreshed
basically
everything.
said, screw all the other trades, we're now in AMD. So, but anyways, no, I still have Roblox queues and you still have.
I have Affirm and Rivian, but let's talk about Tesla here because.
Oh, here, this is a good one,
they
yeah.
did something.
Someone's right there. What's up, Magic 8 Ball? He says we should do this when the, what's up? Where are the positions at? Where are they at? Shout out to Magic 8 Ball there.
All right. Yeah, Shreve and I were just sitting here talking about Airbnb. It just took out the highs once again, took out 150, went straight through to 151. It's at 151, Sean, and going still on pretty heavy volume. So that's a lot of fees, apparently, for Airbnb. Looks great right now. Still a ton of volume behind that as well. Let's talk, we're talking, Tesla, but it was kind of a non-event today, as I mentioned when we came back on. We did get back below the close yesterday, I noticed right now, but look at the volume compared to what happened yesterday. I don't know, you want to touch on this? There was this XAI note today. Apparently they're looking to raise $6 billion. Morgan Stanley is behind this. And if you do some digging, Morgan Stanley was also one of the main backers of Elon acquiring Twitter. So they have some vested interest in this, but we all know the OpenAI $10 billion story from Microsoft.
Exactly, and they raised $10 billion on a valuation of 80 or 90 billion, pardon me. So a big difference here. Elon's XAI was reportedly able to raise about $6 billion with a valuation of 20 billion. So a little bit smaller there. With respect to some of the Tesla-specific headlines, Brendo, a couple of comments today from some analysts. We get a cut here from Edward Jones to a hold from a buy. Also, Evercore ISI reducing the price target to 175 from 180. So Tesla negative again, but almost flat, 0.16.
Yeah. Not a huge move. We're back to session lows, I guess, right now, guys. But buy program at, 182, and the sellers at 185.5.
Look at that bottom.
See, then the AMD trade just gets blown out. By the way, see? Okay, the computers are back on, baby. So there it is. Look at this. Now AMD starts to go, like, again, crazy. Like, this is what I mean. Look at the aggressive moves when it goes. Now you're starting to go. So again, we take 10 cents, and we were short at 78, and we got out at 02s there. So that'll be 22-cent hit. Or 24-cent hit, but we took 10. So net, obviously we're going to lose on that trade. But there it goes right back up to the upside. I now say, now let's be smart about it because we don't need that fix. We could just wait till 178. This trade is the one that we would want. We're under VWAP on the futures. We're at VWAP here. That's the trade that we want for that. I don't have any Tesla trades, but if it bounced off 180, then I'm an idiot because that's something that we had marked down.
No. Tesla, here, I haven't traded it either. I just traded Rivian, but there's Tesla for you. We talked, the 180, the double bottom yesterday. Anyone following the show yesterday, Sean, the double bottom, clearly that was the level to look for longs at, and if you were trying to short it, it didn't quite give you enough. I don't know. I didn't see enough of a push that I wanted to stand in front of it to look for the short. Instead, I was looking at Rivian. Remember yesterday we were kind of we were kind of willing Rivian to make a breakout past 15, and it just wouldn't really go. Like look at 15.10. All afternoon it just held it. So today it's like if it holds 15, let's look for longs in that area. So I had an initial long, then a bounce off VWAP was looking good. Then I took VWAP again, that lost. Then I tried VWAP another time, and it stopped out, jumped right back in because it wicked 15.20, and I was able to get back in at 22s, scalp, and then back into it off of VWAP one more time. So Rivian's been trend up and up 1.8%, but I feel like this is just simply how far it went down and the level that it's trying to hold. Like, Tesla, you think Tesla is bad. It's just kind of like the Coinbase Mara thing. Like, for as bad as you might have thought Coinbase's pullback is, just pull up a chart of Mara. How bad you think Tesla's pullback is, well, pull up a chart of Rivian or Fisker or Lucid. and they're just all worse. So when it bounces, you can expect it might bounce a little bit better. So at the 15 level, it's kind of going. It's not really that big of a move. 15.5 hasn't even broken. I think this is still valid maybe next week, even if it stays an inside day today on Friday and hugs the 15 level. It is a Friday. It's $15. If it's holding that, I'd still look for a bit of a relief rally on Monday for Rivian. This is all assuming, of course, Tesla can hold on to 180. If Tesla can't hold on to 180, I don't really hold much hope for Rivian holding on to this level either. But for now, the scalp trade is working.
All right, let's talk about Apple here and some big tech moves back to the downside right now. In fact, for Apple, back to, hey, that 190 might come into play here in the next couple of days, possibly for Apple. But across the board, they were holding up a little bit better than the rest this morning, not so much anymore.
Yeah, Bruno, there wasn't too many headlines here specific to these names other than Tesla, but there was an interesting comment this morning from the Federal Trade Commission with respect to OpenAI, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon, as well as Anthropic. They're going to push them to disclose more information on recent investments and partnerships involving generative AI companies and cloud service providers. So the FTC looking to get more data on this recent AI initiative.
Meta, saw on the board there when we came on at 2 o'clock, Meta was a little bit better off, but there was this today as well, which was, I mean, good to see for Meta anyways, back above 1 trillion.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yeah, we tried to short Meta up there today. Still looking at AMD, but we already have that order out. We were in and out of this one real quick. Well, actually, now that I look at this, it was just felt real quick, but it was actually pretty long. That was 11:30 out at 12:10, but it cratered down in. This is my number 3 stock today, and I actually forgot about it, which is the crazy part. We really liked it, man. We were short a bunch in here against that 396.50 until it eventually broke. It only went to 75, and then it just cracked lower again. Wish we would have still held on to it, but you got to have outs. And again, without that crystal ball, it's hard to see that was an uptick right there. So we get stopped out at that same level, but not before we take the profit. And this is the thing, like if and when we could write a book, it would just be risk to reward. It's pretty simple. I'll break it down like this. You know, we're short in here. These are 30s and 40s, right? 20s, 30s, 40s. When it made the move down, these are the other side. 50, 60. That's a bottom take. $1. That's $1 in the money. We spun it on the midday show, you know. But the idea was, when it comes back out, you take that 20 or 30 cent hit. The only thing I got to do better, and we didn't have that many shares left, which is a good thing. But the thing is, I got to get better at emptying the clip out, and I think that this 50 period is going to be something that's going to be pretty important to me moving forward. So, anyways, long story short, I think that Meta is a short up here again at 396.50. If we can get it to there, the market I feel like is still downside, so that may not come into play. But I like Meta up here. I think the number is just a thing. I'm not worried about this 2 trillion, 1 trillion, 3 trillion stuff with Microsoft and Apple. I just feel like you play it. To me, it's more important that we're at 400. I feel like that's going to be a monster level, right? I mean, we saw it on NVIDIA and what that meant. Now you're going to see it again here on Microsoft. We're going to find out what that means soon, or on Meta, sorry. $400 should come into play pretty soon.
Yeah, and that'll be wild when it happens. I'm actually looking at Amazon wicked the 160 today on the daily. And I actually, look, people in the chat were mentioning Amazon, and I realized, okay, well, I haven't traded it today, but look at this. It broke the 160 nicely, and I know Sharif was trading it. That's the real reason that it even got attention, I think. And then failed, got to VWAP, and look at the failure at VWAP. Now it's making a bit of a lit grab off of the early range here, but if we get to VWAP and curl again, that's the kind of move. If this market's headed a little bit further to the downside, I think I want to be looking short the pop here in Amazon. When I see that kind of rejection, clearly you know it's been bullish going into these highs, and pretty much all the Magnificent Seven have. I'm not going to say anything against it, but if we're going to have one of those, hey, we're making another leg and 17.5 is going to go on the NASDAQ, like this in here, like this 17.5 double bottom. If we're just making lower highs to break that down, suddenly Amazon looks like a fascinating short here at VWAP. So you just want to see it get back up to VWAP. Look for a curl. If it doesn't, maybe this 159.5, which is resistance for the greater part of lunchtime, that can work as well.
City. DWAC just popped up here, $38, I guess, was the reason. Don't see anything else, but some volume again coming back in here to DWAC up 10%, still pretty good day for that one. Yeah, Snapchat was on the radar this morning on that positive note.
Yep.
What was it, Deutsche Bank that had an upgrade for, I don't know why I remember that, but I do. For Snapchat, gap to the upside this morning has done basically nothing since.
Yeah, and this has been a positive look for Snapchat, at least the last few months. It's been coming off the lows. Today, Deutsche Bank, as Brendo said, increasing their price target from 10 to 19 and upgrading it from a hold to a buy. Roth MKM also chiming in, Brendo, increasing their neutral rating to a buy and raising the price target to 14. So interesting look here for Snap today.
I didn't even think of this morning, but we should have asked Michael Noss who won their Go Low tournament, because the tournament has come to an end, apparently. So maybe on Monday we can see what happened. So 20% off back in effect here for Trade Ideas, guys. If you haven't done so, go grab your copy right now. Bottom right corner will save you 20% off, Trader TV 20.
We should ask them. Curious if any of our people got anyone in our chat. If you were in it,
yeah, if they want to tell us.
if anyone was in it and you just want to tell us how you did, like that's absolutely fine. Would be cool too. I didn't
cool.
I didn't trade Snapchat. We'll get to a couple of other things after we wrap it up. But Snap with an upgrade today, Sean.
Yeah, I snapped. Yeah, you know, I had a quick trade. There's gonna be easy ones there, but yeah, it wasn't super easy to trade Snapchat today though. It really fell in, right? We saw the upgrade, and I'm gonna show you the chart in a second, but it came back in. You know, we saw it sort of not barcode, but made a bottom here. I thought that this could have been a chance for it to pop back up. It did, and then it didn't, and then we're out, and now it's doing nothing. So Snapchat today, you know, we always look for catalysts, but here's the chart. This is a 20-minute chart. Maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit more for you. So this goes back a couple days, pretty much, I guess, all week. Like this is the situation. You're stuck in the middle. We started the day up here, right? Chance to break out for sure. But if it would have hit 17, then I would have thought we could have got going through there. But it doesn't do that. It gets close enough and then bounces right, well, it gets to 99s, but doesn't take 17, then goes right back down. This would have been the spot, but again, hard to predict something like that. That's the spot to go short, 1675, and here's the move down. They're not going up on this upgrade. I recently sold Snapchat above 17. I still have a little piece, but got rid of the majority of it. I still think you want to buy it down here, 16, but it's got to happen. And right now, this is what Snapchat's doing. So there will be 0 trades by me probably, I'll say probably, this afternoon, you know, unless it really gets into that 16-20 area, which shouldn't, or back up to 17, which it also should not. We're just gonna hold, now Roblox, first of all, Roblox finally cooking with some gas here finally, as now Roblox, and that's what we're talking about right now. This is what you wait for. You wait for stocks to finally make moves. This is making a money move right here to the downside, as there goes Roblox down into the low of the day, as well as the NASDAQ trying to push lower. So we've got 2 shorts on, Snapchat just disappearing today.
The only, I don't have a note to say on Snapchat because I didn't trade it. However, adjacent to Snapchat is Pinterest. Just an observation, but look at the gap forming between the 50 and the 200 period moving average. You're definitely coiling to the upside. And then today, for the 3rd time, it's failed a breakout on the daily chart. So it's been, you know, it's tried to get through here, this 38, a few times. This is probably the biggest failed break. It was the strongest move, gap up and tried to go, failed the high and is coming back underneath. This is exactly the kind of thing that would set up a little like a short trade maybe next week. Like if it tries to get to 38 on Monday or something, or fails to break out at the open at 38, you look for a short. But that's certainly setting up for a bit of a reversal. Last time it did it, I mean, look, the last 2 times it did it, it's like, okay, stair step to the downside that got to 35, stair step to the downside that got to 36, 50 periods right there. I think that's much in play. I'm in Affirm, but this actually starts with Upstart, so let me try to explain myself here. Upstart, never really did find out why. So Upstart did this at about a 120 or so. Big pop into VWAP, wasn't really sure what was happening. It was just rallying and running. And then made a bit of a wick at VWAP. So I went over and was like, hey, I've been watching Affirm here, and it did a similar pop for no apparent reason. So let's just short Affirm. Should have shorted Upstart. You can see it would have been a better move. So I'm in Affirm off of VWAP here at 42. I got in, lost, got back in, and it's been working. I just missed the reload. So I'm going to reload this at 42. However, in looking back at it, if you just, once you realize there's nothing really happening, this just rolled back over and has been a good short. The other thing, I'm in Rivian. We mentioned this. I think we mentioned already this off VWAP. My stop is going to be right back at that 15.20 that it was before. So if it can't hold that, then I'm jumping out of that trade. Still would like to maybe look at, we talked about Mara as well. As long as this can bounce off VWAP and show some strength, it's wicked this local bottom here at 1780. Either give me some higher lows off that or a quick bounce off VWAP. And I'd look for that. Chef Joe, they post on the X, they're launching a new car. Car loans at cheaper prices, cool video. So that's the reason Upstart went up and it came right back into the downside. Anytime I see that, like if you see something move up that is loosely related, like Affirm and Upstart are not the same thing, but they're adjacent enough and that they have a short float and they both do lending, which is whatever. I guess that's close enough for some algos. Sometimes you'll just see one moving because the other is. So my thought is, well, it's nothing to do, whatever's happening with Upstart has nothing to do with Affirm. Why not go for the short play? That's essentially the entire logic. And it was stair-stepping down. But the one thing that's definitely going is Airbnb starting to pull back. So, okay, we got the news from Brendan. Clearly it had a good little run. It's definitely stabilizing a bit here. So the volumes died down. Look for some kind of consolidation, like chasing it with $1 risk up here with 90 minutes to go in the day. Not my cup of tea. I think you want a little bit less risk on that. Scott's saying Spirit's moving with a nice recovery. Ooh, we like Spirit. That's for sure. Who's got Spirit? At the high of the day? Dang it.
Yeah. I like
we
that.
might have missed this one.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed this one.
I like that right around this price, six and a bit once it went to the downside. All right, we have this is new position alert. I'm just trying to play off key levels because wow, you know what? Maybe the new position alert should be over here again. Like AMD, so we got stopped out, then it came all the way back and bounced off the 50-period moving average again, and now it's trying to get back up here. I still like this short at 178 if it can come through. I'm waiting there for it, and then we'll get punched out if it takes 178. But this could come in pretty quickly, and I like it because if we can get it near these levels, we have a very, very defined risk, and then we'll get stopped out, and well worth it, in my opinion, if we can let that go to the upside. This position here on Google, we will not take another fill until we get to 151.90, and then we'll put something for real on, and then we'll wait for this top right there, 152.05. But I just maybe the market just wants to do this, like it's doing nothing. Like we should short something up here and then just dare it to break VWAP.
That's what happens when they're having a tea party.
Yeah, they are having a tea party right now, and
How are we
it's
supposed
just
to move?
Tesla 182, that's probably what's up, Renata there. Probably a good level there on Tesla. Let me have a quick look. I got to put another order here in case Google does rip up. Yeah, so another good one. See, this is where we should be looking. Like so I'm just trying to do the other thing, like flip all the charts upside down, and I'm just trying to find shorts that look like this. So you just had some bottom picks. That's great. This 82, good. That's a little risky, though. I feel like buying this here at 80. Yeah, okay, yeah, buying at 82.50 and giving it to 82, that's perfect sense. And right now you're 2-1. So that's a great trade, Renata. Congratulations on that one. What I'm doing is like basically just trying to flip it upside down. So like if we go support this way, it's kind of like buying Google down here at 51.50. It's just not there. So I'm going to go short with the market into a Friday. Could be a sell at the end of the day. Could be. So we'll put some shares on here. Hopefully it's not a huge, like I said, I don't know if you guys want to play zero expiry options and stuff like that, but not much happening right now. Roblox is the one that's moving. We do have an out on the NASDAQ, that's VWAP. So I just said like, we're just gonna let this dance until we get up here. I could punch out here at the top, but if it hits the top, it comes right back down. We already have an out there. So we'll just wait for that. big trade, my number one stock. We'll have to wait for it. I'm going to put some more offers on Google, and it'll be right here at the 200 period, so 90, 150, 190.
So just Ramin was in my ear anyways. Correction, they're on a date. It's not a tea party. Okay, so
It's a tea party.
I mean, what does it look like?
Because you could be on a date and a tea party is a date, no?
Why can't it be?
But I guess if they're not
Why
drinking
can't it
tea, then I guess.
Oh, you can drink. You don't have to. Well, first of all, Fabian's like,
stupid
don't you guys
question
have
is that?
daughters? I have tea parties with my daughter all the time. Saturday mornings, she does like a thing, and it's called, well, she calls it essentially like her spa, and then she'll like do our nails and stuff, and we have this massage thing. I'll lay down, she turns on the massage thing, and she'll be like doing my, it's awesome, because I get to lay on the massage thing and chill out, which is great. But yeah, we have tea parties, why not? And you can drink anything at a tea party. Like I can put my morning coffee in the little thing while we're having the tea party.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, there's certain things I wouldn't put in when I'm having a tea party with my daughter. That's obvious. But yeah, you can do whatever you want, man. New position alert, save, Spirit. Now, okay, it is trending to the upside, but there's one caveat here. I'm just going to quickly throw this up for you guys. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, or she, or whomever, bot. This buyer here at 657. Like I pulled up Spirit, saw the uptrend, and was really thinking, is there anything significant other than it was a local high here that was just slowly breaking out? I went over to the 15-minute chart, and you looked at what has been support in this top end of the range has been right about here at the 660 area. So you're looking to break through that and room to 7, and then there's some buyer at 57. I'm like, okay, I'll just sit there in front of 60, and if this dude breaks at 57, I'll just get out. So it's like 5 cents worth of risk if they take a fill and break, then I just jump out of the trade. If they hold, great, and it can go higher. So it's a little bit of it's trending up, and there happens to be a size buyer on. It's not really moving that fast, but that order's been there for a hot minute, and it's seemingly gliding higher from there.
Market is heating up.
The market's definitely heating up. And it's crazy. Like we don't even have it's not quite 245, and it's not like Frank's here either, because the one short that I still have on is a firm. And I just got more at VWAP. Let's see if it can do the pullback again. I'm obviously going to bid down here because that's what's been happening, down into the low 80s. See if we can't get something. Airbnb, I'm sure, is still flying with this market going up.
I think we should be shorting Airbnb at some
51.
point. Okay, the Qs might come out very, very soon.
Oh, my goodness. It's at huge resistance on the daily.
That's what I was thinking about shorting that name, Airbnb.
151. That's like the lower high from September. Okay, yeah, this isn't that bad.
Let's look for something else. Shopify, yeah, that's kind of hitting here. Let's take a look at SoFi. I know there's a lot of traders that look at SoFi every day. They have an earnings report coming out soon. So
Monday morning.
Monday morning, so we'll have to look at that. Shoot, man, we should have Google. I'm gonna put on another I'm gonna put some more right now on Google, because I thought this would have ripped on that, even on that move right there. Look, we just touched VWAP. So right there, we'll put on a little bit more ahead of this. I mean, we still want it to rip up, so we can put some more on. What's up, Brendan?
I was trying to find something a little more substantial on this, but wasn't able to. DraftKings not really moving on this, but reports being floated around that X is apparently working on a gambling feature.
Yeah, I mean, Elon's going to they're trying to put everything into
It's the everything
right?
app.
DraftKings, yeah, really not doing anything right here. DKNG. We talked about, what was it called, Flow or something? What's the one that's in FanDuel's in London there? They're going to be...
Oh, Flutter.
Flutter.
When is the
that what it
IPO for that again?
So DraftKings is like right here, right now. I mean, look at this daily chart. This is about to break out. So that's a great report there from Brendo. I mean, if it can start going, that's a good catalyst. But I don't know why that would really affect DraftKings, unless obviously they teamed up with DraftKings, which would be really sweet. And that would spark this thing right through that level. So right now, we'll wait. The story is what it is, but there's DraftKings starting to just tick up here a little bit throughout the day. You're still not back to day's high. Feel like a break of 40 is probably along there on DKNG. The market's going to break. We are going to get out. Like the Qs just went to VWAP. That's a good little level there. So we're going to get not stopped out. Well, we will get stopped out on the Qs, but still, all the way to the downside. We are waiting for further than this. So hopefully it comes back in. You could short it if you want right now. I'm going to pick my poison with Google and wait for 179 on AMD.
So that guy took the fill on save, no question. He didn't pull the order. It was a real order. The second they took the fill, I'm out. right away. Ooh, Amazon just came in. I'll get to that in a quick second. So we got in front of that buyer. The buyer was at 57. I was at 61. The second it broke, I got 56 out. 5 cents worth of risk. Sometimes, if it's with the trend, I don't mind playing off of a size level like that. If it's against the trend, I better be also trading at a significant price level. But with the trend, I'll just join it and see if it continues higher. So Amazon to VWAP here. The markets are kind of sleepy. If it's not at a major support or resistance level, or like something crazy volume-wise is happening on the stock, then I'm just looking for general trend and VWAP and little things like that. So I mean, that's the reason behind jumping into Amazon here. If it can't hold, probably give it like 10, 15 pennies, then wait for 159.50 to see if it sets up a different trade. We already talked about a firm. Rivian is very slowly bouncing, look at this. It's not really going that much. So it's a slow grind to the upside on that one. We did talk about Mara a bit here. Volume really low. Like it's still looking like trend down. Like I'm not really seeing it show signs of a reversal. I get it bounced off VWAP, but it's not really showing me the signs of breaking this little bit of a downward trend. So I'm gonna stay away from that one for now. Just a dividend investor. The irony of you just put in PaySafe with 2 rocket ships. They don't pay a dividend, dude. PaySafe, I would assume.
PaySafe doesn't even pay profit.
And I was going to say, if they do pay a dividend, my question would have been from what?
They don't have
dividend.
They don't have earnings.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. But yeah. PaySafe, I haven't looked at that in a hot minute. It's been I
used to own that stock. That stock was killed. That was a SPAC.
But that was during the thing about those.
Not done well.
I think you have to remember with things like PaySafe.
5% short.
And a firm, it's only 5%. That's it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I'm not lying here.
I would have guessed double digits.
Yeah, no. You're a British company. Pay short, only 4% short. The thing about PaySafe is the reason why I was getting involved in it, which might be why it's starting to go right now, is again, they were big in the payment processing for gambling websites, which was one of the big things when I was researching this in the beginning. But I can, hold on a second, let me just show you. Our chart won't show you split adjusted. So you're gonna say, like, oh my God, PaySafe is an animal. But if you go over here, here's a split adjusted chart for PaySafe. So there's still lots of work to be done on this name. I mean, the destruction of wealth due to SPACs is ridiculous. So here we go. Like, obviously, this is when they got first talked about, all the way up here, I don't know when it de-SPACed, but this is what I'm saying. So $200 top, but whatever, that's $190, and then you went all the way down to $7 or $8. So realistically, this has been quite a nice investment to be short. So if you're gonna break higher on PaySafe, it really needs to get like $23, $24, something down there. But anyways, nice movement there for PSFE. And forget about where we've come from. We can show you lots of charts. Rivian used to be as well a $180 stock. It's now $14. There's so many.
Virgin Galactic.
PaySafe has actually done better than Rivian.
Oh, it's probably done better than Virgin Galactic.
Oh, Virgin Galactic for sure.
You have to remember, like, there was some of these things where understand what they are. Like, they were fun on the way up. Like, I owned in 20, like I had Virgin Galactic. Yeah, there you go. Virgin Galactic. I just talked about it. How could I forget? I had that on the way up. I had Silvergate on the way up. I had Lemonade on the way up. I'm forgetting another one of these bad boys. And I'll be honest with you, I got out of most of them way too early when you actually look at the move. And then on top of it still worked. But then I would still hold like that last 10%, like the old bag hold of some of them. The only good one is that I didn't hold the whole bag on Silvergate, obviously, because then it turned to nothing. And I've never owned an OTC stock, believe it or not. Like, I've never owned something that went to the OTC.
Right.
But usually get out before. But yeah, you have to understand what they were. And I think during that time, there was a lot of money to be made, so long as you were willing to ride the wave, but be reasonable about it and have yourself an out on the way back. Like Clover is another example as well. Yeah, Andrew Ditter said they made a boatload on Lemonade. Like, Lemonade was looking really good. The good thing about it, we actually had a WhatsApp chat. Remember this?
Yeah.
We had a WhatsApp chat on the way back down because I had done really well on Lemonade. And I was like, where am I getting back into this? My wife's in insurance. I'm like, they're going to change the insurance game. And then our buddy was like, I talked to some people I know, and he was like, you should read this about Lemonade. And then I talked to my wife's, someone at my wife's work, who kind of explained some things about some metrics that were important in the insurance industry. And then, like right after that, I was like, I'm not buying this stock. And it was, my daily chart's not loading. So let's do this. I don't remember exactly when it was, but suffice to say, when I pull up this weekly chart, there we go. When I pull up this weekly chart,
That's going to be another horrible one.
no, like I remember when it was doing this, I was like, where am I buying this thing again? And I got talked out of it. It made a bounce. I was like, oh, I should think about it again. Talk to someone in the industry, and I was like, no, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Now, obviously, shorting it would have been a better story. But some of these things are getting to prices and areas where you would expect. Like, look at the weekly and the 200 period on the weekly. Like, it's now holding above that and consolidating on a higher low. Like, some of these will turn into possible long-term investable plays at some point. It's just, yeah, you got to be really careful catching falling knives on bad companies. Or not bad companies, that's not the right way to say it. On companies that have not proven themselves, that haven't made money, that don't have a track record, that's the kind of thing. All right, couldn't hold the local high Amazon, we're in, we're out. The market's trending, like look what just happened in the NASDAQ. It's 245, should have realized. Why enter into a short position at 245 when every single day it seems like the market wants to catch a buy and a bid?
What happened with my
It is so weird. Maybe the programs just like to turn on at this time. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's anecdotal. We joke about it all the time. What I'm in isn't really going. That's, of course, Rivian. What else is, what's moving, man? I see someone at T blank saying AI is pumping. That's still a New York stock.
AI. We put the wrong price to get out of the queues, so I'm bidding now in the 70s. I put 425.50. It was 424.50. So there it is. It came out, so we'll go like that. It's a little bit of money, but we could add more. We're out of the queues. It's starting to rally up, like Neil said, man. These are not, nothing's really, the short's not working, and people are like, well, I mean, I saw someone in the chat, I was like, it's a bull market. Like, I agree. I mean, obviously the market's bullish. We are down right now, though. I'm talking about just today. I didn't think we'd get back up to VWAP. It is nice that obviously we did do that. So right now we'll see. We'll see if we want to continue to go higher now. My whole logic is it's into a Friday now, and the market's down. We did get a good PCE number down to 2.9. We finally get that 2 handle. That's nice. We had a great GDP number yesterday at 3.3. So yeah, I mean, obviously the market likes these numbers, and what the market really doesn't like right now is, I don't know. I mean, AMD is down. Everything else seems to be up, man. I mean, Microsoft, Meta's near those all-time highs. We await earnings next week. Microsoft is now firmly above 400. I mean, sure, it's been there, but we didn't dip down below it. You can see here on the daily chart, still monster moves up now into 400. Apple, I think, okay, Apple's still red. I was going to say trying to make moves back up again, holding some of those levels. Google, Amazon, we're in those ones as well. We talked about last week on the podcast, the idea that I gave, and Brendan was like, huh? I said, let's buy some Nike down there at 100. It's up 3% in a week, whatever. I mean, we want more than that, obviously. So last week right here, Nike was right at $100. We talked about that. It's not super sexy, but hopefully that'll go up to the upside as well right now. We could check out Alibaba. Well, Alibaba, I mean, some of the Chinese names don't really move in the afternoon, but again, that was a good short, and this was quickly out. That was a good one, profitable there for Baba. We'll have to wait to see. Yeah, still nothing happening there. And
there's something I wanted to mention.
We did get our fill on Google, but we should have waited for it.
The Buffett bottom again on Oxy. It's doing it again. This 56.
Oh yeah, are you buying more? I don't know.
No. No, I didn't buy this. I bought this one. I recently bought it. Like I actually, for the amount of time, and not just us. Like, well, I'm not going to pretend that we're the only ones that have been talking about this $55, $56 level on Oxy. Everybody's been talking about it, but I haven't even done anything with it except stare. I own CVX, but I recently was like, yeah, why not? I'll take a shot at it. So I'm just looking to, you get 10%. Take some, and then if it gets up to 66, just get it all out. Like, whatever. I'm just playing the trade for Oxy. But it made a hard turn today. Like, oil, I mean, the last 3 days on Oxy, and look, if we see this again, like, look at the stock. It's like dip and rip, dip and rip, dip and rip, dip and rip. This one actually held at the lows. But for the most part, it's been responding to the dips by just finding program buying when it makes a bottom. dip, rip, dip, rip. Like, how many times does it have to do that before, as a day trade, actually looking to go long every day on some kind of V-shaped bottoms? Anyways, it's ridiculous because I didn't notice that till today, only looking at the daily chart. But when you see that on a 15-minute chart, if you catch that kind of a pattern of higher lows and making early bottoms, that's the kind of thing you put into your toolbox at 9:30 in the morning and just go dip buy hunting and then look to try to hold it. So I'm only in a firm and Rivian. A firm just moved back down a little bit. You can see how tight the range is. It's moving right back down off VWAP. Not a heck of a lot, but hey, at the end of the day, VWAP is VWAP. At least this one is respecting it. So we'll take it to the downside. Apparently there's a halt.
We're actually in a huge trade right now, guys. It's Google. We talked about that one. Honestly, it's a pretty big one right now. We just missed our AMD short. I'm going to cancel that AMD short because honestly, I just want to mess around with Google right now. Okay, so was it Hamid or someone in the chat there? I apologize. I'm not going to scroll up, but you said, can't believe I held, this was, and I should have made it more clear, this was 5% of my position. I was just holding for a daybreak low. And then I was going to get out at VWAP, so that's why. But you know what? Honestly, man, this Google trade is starting to get pretty damn spicy. The only mistake that I made again, and this is the thing about trading, you're never right, you're always wrong, because you can never have as much shares as you want at the right prices. You always seem to have the wrong prices. You seem to get out too early, just like what I just showed you on the Qs, and sometimes you get out too late, and again, just like I showed you on the Qs. But we talked about going short. My problem on this trade was, and again, the reason why we have the price that we do is because I told you that we're gonna get serious when it gets up here. So we put on serious shares once it got up here, which squashed all these ones. But anyways, profitable position. Let's just see what happens here on this trade. So I still like it. Google, we just got out a little bit there. I don't want to get out of the rest, but we just fell back into this spot. So we just got, my best fill there on Google was 71 there on Google. So hopefully it'll fall back in even more than that right now, and these futures will have a nice little Friday sell-off, which would be perfect. So even me holding this right now, Google's well positive. It's a good trade, but we still have that high side break there. So if it breaks above 152.05, we're going to be out. That's now well in the pocket. I do have more bids down here. I have one at 68 for 3% or so, then one down at 63 for much more. So if we can get down in the year into 63, I have a 10% take to get out there at 63. So hopefully that'll come into play, and that will be that. It is my trade right now on Google, and the only one that we have, well, we have, I mean, Roblox right now is going red side all the way to the bottom goes Roblox. And again, we're trying to do better. We have only 10%, but we're trying to hold it. So this is like one of those trades again where we're looking to hold it to get into the bottom. Roblox, nice move to the downside. We're just going to wait on Google. That's my trade. We're going to wait on that. And that might be the, wow, it's only 3 o'clock.
Power hours starting.
Power hours starting. Could get a little more spicy coming up.
So power for this DYN here, Dine, looks like it started at about 227. The halt up on this stock was drug developer weighing options after takeover interest. So that's the spike. It then halted upside, did this ridiculous move, and is already starting to pull back. So just it's weighing options after interest in a takeover, which if you look at the daily chart is not necessarily brand new, but they're weighing the options. So that means they're at least considering it. But it did make a move to like $30 before and pull back in here. 20 the local high. I would suppose if 20 were to hold, maybe there's a trade there on the way back in. The halt price was like 1940. When you pull this one back and look at the daily chart, like that's a big gap that it could fill. Feel more comfortable if it was bouncing off the 20 level, to be sure. Deus Ex. No Deus, just Deus Ex, not Deus Ex Machina, huh? Saying shorted it throws me off because I actually assumed as I started reading that name in the chat that you were going to have the entire name. You shorted Airbnb off that 151. Good on you. It looks like it did do a nice rejection. Meanwhile, when I looked at that, I was like, that's interesting. I shorted VWAP on Affirm and did that. So, you know, to each their own. Amazon. Affirm is working. Amazon did not. But Airbnb was off of that double top on the daily. So it's a good level up there. You've also got, I don't know why I have this trend line drawn. It must intersect with something way back when. I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't need it there. But there is, even if it were to break, like 155 is a big level as well. Good upward trend for PayPal. It's definitely reversing. Tony Price, SoFi has been cooling. It's not breaking the 750, is it?
SoFi?
No, it's not.
I just saw someone, who's it, Tony? Yeah, someone
Tony.
was talking about it. They've been coiling up and all that stuff.
Look at this
have
is what barcoding is. Sorry, I mean SoFi. Look at that. 2-cent range for like a half an hour.
Blech.
Wow, there's no trade there at all.
Yeah, be careful with that one there, SoFi. I just, a little difficult trade for sure. Well, it's not difficult. It's just I always find I get carried away with it. Like I wind up taking too many shares and then it doesn't do anything. It's like you punch out. All right.
Ooh.
Good one. Google. Finally, this is going to now be, it's position pending, but this is my fourth. Well, no, it's actually ahead of Meta right now on this trade. So Google just pulled. And if we get that 63 fill, then we'll be real happy, man. And we're just bidding it ahead of this. So we'll wait for it. Look, remember what we were just talking about it? See, now I'm getting anxious again. I'm going to put 20 more percent here, or sorry, 10% at 72. All right, well, hopefully they'll fall down. Remember I was like, okay, no mas, no mas? Yeah, well, the market is, Google at least is falling down. Feels like we picked the right name there. But AMD, like if I would have still short this one, we're at the top right now looking to take out 179. I canceled my AMD trades. We went short, it was wrong. We went short again at it was a little bit ahead of 178, wrong, and out. So like everything was real quick, and now if it pulls back in, fine. And we were thinking about short. I had a short right here at 90. We could be short now. You could go short now if you want. But this is off to the races. We'd much rather pick our poison here with Google, obviously, as that actually hit our level and fell. So AMD, very, very difficult trade, IMO.
ARM's starting to go, you know what, the chips are actually looking all good. Micron, if I held on to that, that's looking bad. Even Intel's bouncing a little bit. I haven't checked NVIDIA, but ARM's, I just saw in the chat someone mentioning ARM, and that's got a pretty big up move that it's starting to continue. This is the kind of move that can get to VWAP. And with the rest of the chips going, I'd rather join a trend than try to fight it. I was looking ARM short earlier today, but never ended up taking it. Should have. This is the one chip name, at least that I was looking at, that never really even threatened its opening top and then just trended down. But I'll look to go long around this 71.50 and try to make the move into 72. So we just jumped in on that one. I like that setup. And the fact that, I mean, Sean just showed you AMD busting out above VWAP. I was just in Micron short. Look at the continuation on Micron, like higher lows, man. This wants to hunt higher. Intel's also bouncing a little bit here. So yeah, I'm going to join ARM and see if that can't get up. If the chips are going to relief rally, we've seen this before. Like, remember all the afternoons where we've seen what, like NVIDIA will just go face ripping and AMD will go face ripping toward the end of the day? Well, they've been kind of pulling back a little bit here. Some of them have been pulling back. There's some room for a rally with some of these. What else we got going on? Baba short, someone just said.
Yeah, I see people talking about some Alibaba trades there.
Look at it not moving. This is what we're getting at though with try to find like ARM's actually like it's starting to go, it's making some moves, gives you an opportunity. I don't know what you do with this unless you are the market maker. What are you supposed to do here? Sit it out is the answer. If you're a day trader, there's really nothing that you can do with that trade. It's not moving, the volume's doing nothing, it's in a really tight range. And remember, it's a Chinese ADR, so the expectation that it could move is a little bit dicey, I would say. Of course, like right as I get in, there's NVIDIA pulling back.
Yeah.
There's AMD pulling back into VWAP. This could be the quickest 25 cents ever. We'll see. It could be the fastest 25 cents ever. But I like something that's going to give me an opportunity. It's got 50 pennies to VWAP. It's got 25 cents to my out, so I'm looking for that 2-to-1.
I guarantee you my AMD trades are faster.
All day long, all day long, I was thinking short on ARM. And now it actually looks strong. The second I get in, it starts to come back into the downside.
Oh my God. All right, it's fine. It's a good thing we've already made our money because like, I was just I was like, oh man, this AMD trade. We were just here 3 minutes ago. The last thing I said was, all right, well, you can short this AMD here at 179. I'm not going to do it because we're in Google and we like it better. Well, there's $1. This is why I pick on this name lately. It's because of this. You lose small and then you win quite grande right there. Shout out to Ariana Grande, I guess.
She does
She's
great
still a thing?
impressions.
I don't know. Does she? All right, so
I've seen it on YouTube.
Oh, okay, you saw it on YouTube, yeah. All right, we're gonna put a bid now at 67 here for Google. Did we just get it there? No, we did not. Hopefully, oh yeah, I'm on ARCA or something. It's got to rip through us anyways before we get it. See, this is why if I'm on like Edge A or BYX, there we go, we got it anyways. We would have got that a little bit quicker. But here it is, nice little pullback down. We'll wait to see if we can get it one more time here. But it's Google downside. It's AMD. I know you're in that arm. That's probably out for you now, or maybe not. Yeah, because AMD's cracking lower.
Oh, it just bounced.
Right, so maybe you have a level there. Look at you, AMD. Look at you.
Oh, it's gonna stop it.
Funny guy. Funny guy here.
That's so lucky. No, that's like blind luck. Like,
Well, maybe you'll get stopped.
No,
out.
but like look at this wick. Like I'm not making it up. My stop is essentially like 2 cents underneath that wick. So whatever. It bounced off 26.
Yeah, sometimes that's what I mean. Sometimes we bitch about like, you know, we got stopped out on that. I know I should have pulled that trigger, Jameson. I 100% know that. But at least we talked about it, and you know, like I already
You
have
gotta make a
300
call.
trades. Yeah,
You gotta make
It's
a
just I gotta parse out the best trades.
See, there you parse out the trades and you got to make a decision. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, and then work with it as long as you're right, whatever, 70, 80,
That's
whatever
my
the
bad.
percentage is, you're
That's
good.
my bad.
Renata, Renata asked
so
me what my average price, my personal account is with ARM. So I know it's less than 65, more than 63. Like it's somewhere in there. I'd have to double check it, to be honest with you. And it doesn't matter where I own it. Like that doesn't mean it's a good place to buy it. I'm not planning on selling this position. So it's like it's price independent. I'll probably buy more at some point on dips, likely somewhere in possibly the third quarter, maybe the second quarter. I'm just building a position in this stock in my long term that I do not plan on selling. So that's not to say that I have it in the low to mid 60s means nothing in terms of price action. I just want to get that clear. I don't mind answering the question, but I don't want you to get the idea that, oh my goodness, that's where I happen to have gotten an average price. So that suddenly means something in terms of support and resistance. I'm not really thinking about it that way with ARM. I just wanted to be very clear about that. What else we got going on here? Google, I think you're already talking about that. We missed not taking this trade in XOM, ZOM. Well, that's what I was thinking when I looked at Oxy today.
We missed the ZOM.
Like we missed the trade in Oxy. In the daily chart, we definitely missed XOM back down into the mid 90s. Stock dips underneath $100, and it generally is pretty good. No, is this better than
Randy has
Oxy?
been loving that stock.
Randy's all over it when it dips under $100. He's been saying that for a while. I just like Oxy because Warren Buffett seems to buy it down at those prices. But what a reversal. We saw that oil did. For some reason, I had thought Oxy had made a better move, but that's like a 1.5. Oh, that's about the same thing. Oxy's just as good. Whatever. I haven't day traded this stock in a while. Wow. But both of them did the same thing. You guys should probably talk about oil on the podcast.
I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, as I turned to say something, I saw that at the bottom, and I'm like, hey, you guys should talk about oil.
Good.
Why not? The move that happened today, that's pretty big. What else we got happening?
Maybe you should have shorted the Qs there, but we're still at VWAP. You're not getting another chance to short AMD because now it's not even going above 178 anymore. You're hitting VWAP, you're hitting the 50-period moving average, and there it is, boom, right there to the downside. NVIDIA must be giving it up, right? Maybe we should just go over to Intel and just, yeah,
you see stocks?
Again, right there, it came in again. Well, Michael Burry's trades stocks?
No, like stocks, there's a move
SOXX,
down. Like
yeah.
everything was just, like you saw Intel probably, you just pulled it up.
Well, 43.75. I mean,
I have these bad wicks, but Intel's right back at that, almost right back at the bottom.
you know what I didn't realize has been on one as well? So we're long Oracle like at 107 or something. It's fine. It's at 115. Not today. This is in the longer term account. This is really on one as well. So Oracle, let me find out when they're reporting, or maybe they did already. I don't think so.
No.
ORCL. It must be, March 7th. Okay, so very, very long time before Oracle comes through. But anyways, nice move, and I just want to look at this top as well. I want to look at this next week. You know, data center, storage, all that kind of stuff, man, data processing. You know, this 118 break, that's going to be pretty sweet. If we can get into that area, then yes, I really like that. We'll put Oracle on the watch for next week. And if you guys are trading, the thing is, it's March 7th. I was going to say, like, if Oracle had earnings next week, I would say you could buy like a 130 call or something up here, because I think if you break through that 118, it's gone. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Because we saw yesterday, and again, you know, old tech comes new tech.
Yeah.
Like IBM was an absolute monster, and it's the same kind of thing that I was talking about, except for IBM already did it. It broke this 166 and then just shot up. Huge.
I was going to say, that's what Western Digital did.
Yeah, so all these old names coming popular again here, and it looks like they want to continue to make a move higher there. So watch out for that.
It's just like it's like style. Like everything sort of comes back into flavor at some point. Unless you're a SPAC, or unless you are, I don't know, what's crappy stock I should, like Virgin Galactic. There you go. It's the first thing that came to mind. I heard something in my ear, but I'm not sure what it was. Oh, we do have a super chat. Thank you, Volcan. I like that. Hey guys, love your energy, and what an amazing stream. We get the energy from you guys. We love talking shop. It's trading, right? So what is your view on AVGO and SMCI? Well, fancy that you mentioned these two. The thing about AVGO and Broadcom is most people don't realize how big of a deal it is in the index. Like, it's probably the sleepiest top 5 name in an indice that you're ever going to find. My concern with Broadcom is, A, they should split. That's a different story. The concern with Broadcom is it does feel like it's about to do, like it does the dipsy do, right? So you look at what had been happening, and then you get the breakout, and then there's your dive, and there's your rip. It's like it's doing the dive part of it right now. It would seem to me, like, look at we have a lot lining up here. You already saw what happened, the reaction on Intel in a general sense. You got AMD coming out next week. There's a lot of pent-up angst in some of these high-flying running names, and I would not be surprised to see Broadcom back at the 50-period moving average. I think they should split. I think that'd be great for a great catalyst for them. It's not that it does anything fundamentally, just it gives you some juice when it comes to options that I think they might be missing out on, and maybe more people would pay attention to how great the stock is overall. SMCI is a squeeze name. Like they've got a great sort of kind of like a subscription style business, if you want to think of it that way. And it's got a 9% short float, which means it's just going to behave differently. Now you're reporting, this is the big deal. You're reporting on Monday, and this thing just went $120 in a week into earnings. That's a scary proposition. Like Broadcom, to me, at least that has the capability of, if SMCI has anything wrong with it, it's down $100. Like that's the worry. Broadcom's going to pull back to the 50-period moving average. This thing pulls back to the 50-period moving average, and you've lost 33%. That scares the crap out of me. If I was in this SMCI up here, I'd be scared. You know what? I'd be getting something out. If I was long this stock, personally, I'd be covering some because that's wild. It's got squeeze potential. AVGO, you like it. It pulls back to the 50 period. It trims 10%. Like, I'm not freaking out over Intel because it went down 12%, but I wouldn't be comfortable with SMCI up here.
I think you got to be very, very careful heading into this earnings season for everybody. Like, there's so many stocks are way overheated that that's why we've been getting out of. Well, I mean, we haven't got out of that much, and we've been wrong. I just think like Meta at the top here. There are a lot of them are just priced to perfection, but I like everything but the chip names, and that's going to sound crazy because again, when we started the podcast, this was the very first one of the year, or I think it was maybe heading into the year. It was like, what's going to work? And I said the same stuff, you know, and that has worked. And now you're a month in, and NVIDIA in 1 month since the beginning of the year, NVIDIA's up from 473 up to 612. So you're up like 30% or so. Well, wait a second, what's the math there? That's about $150 on 470. So yeah, 30% up in 1 month when nothing really has changed. I mean, obviously they had that new process, that the new chips getting approved into China and everything like that. AMD's come out with a competing product, of course, as they all will. I don't know if anyone can actually compete with NVIDIA or not. And we're just going to find out. It's just, what about, right? Didn't Meta just put forward like millions and $1 million order of NVIDIA chips and AMD and like all of this stuff? So I'm just wondering that at some point, sure, these orders are all going to get filled, but I just wonder about the pull forward. You can't just keep on, you know, raising your revenue targets and raising your projected sales. Can you? Like if I just bought, and I don't know what Zuckerberg or whoever is upgrading all of their processes and their platforms and instituting new AI bots and all that. But like when you spend $1 billion or $100 million upgrading your infrastructure today, and NVIDIA's got that order and they're booking it and they're announcing it as like, when's the next time that you put another order through of that magnitude, right? So I just don't know if you can continue to carry forward. It's like the whole Apple thing. We know every 2 or 3 years, Apple is getting a refresh on their subscriber to the iPhone, right? Like people's plans stop and then they have to upgrade their iPhones and things like that. We know that's a couple-year cycle. For me, I don't know enough about the space, and you guys do. Do you have to keep on upgrading? Like once you buy these H100 chips, am I then spending another $100 million 2 years from now getting the H200 or whatever, right?
Well, I think it's more how big this AI phenomenon can get.
Right.
I think it was probably Lisa Su, and like I think the idea was that you can grow 10x. I think it was somewhere around 10x in terms of overall spend. I think she said by the end of 26 or something like that. So, but the problem is like you said, it happens. It's going to happen in stages. And the issue that you run into with earnings right here is, okay, well, if the next stage was this is that pump, then maybe you have that hump that goes down, and then you have the next hump up. And when you're investing in these, understand, can you stomach the hump? That's what I was getting at with SMCI, because if SMCI pulls back on Monday, it's not gonna be like Intel, right? Like SMCI has it bad. It's not gonna be the same thing. Like look at the chart and understand the kind of stock it is. And then when you look at like Intel pulling back, okay, fine, you can live with that. It's 10, 12%, whatever. It's had moves like this before. It's not going to drop 25, 30. Generally speaking, it's not, I shouldn't say not. Generally speaking, it's probably not going to drop 25 to 30%. But SMCI has that potential, and I'd be concerned about it. And if anything, like if Intel can go 12%, then AMD and NVIDIA could probably drop more than that, because they could be just as, if not more volatile. Speaking of dropping, ARM is not really falling any further, but it's also not moving as rapidly. Like it's held the higher lows, but my entry was off of this break, and it's held to 25, but it's really not moving. It's now 318. You're starting to run out of time for this to go. And when that happens, you've got to start thinking about getting out, taking less, tightening stops, all that kind of good stuff. I'm glad we got away from Amazon. That's A, not doing anything, B, it's holding VWAP as well. What else we have here? Jimbo Slice, love you, Jimbo.
Love Jimbo.
How much more is PayPal going to put into AI? Every company in the world has mentioned AI 1,000 times on an earnings call at this point.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, of course it's a little bit overdone, but what do you expect them to say? Like
They want their stocks to go up. That's why Apple's a huge long. They have never mentioned AI.
But you know they're doing it.
Exactly.
And that's sort of the thing. Like, what do you expect from a CEO? They're going to say the wrong things?
Well, the PayPal CEO, I think, is an idiot, so.
Well, I'll give you an example. Intel notoriously is conservative on their guidance, right? And they say this all the time. Okay. Well, what happens when you saw what happened last night. They beat in the top of the bottom, and your conservative guidance just tanked the stock 12%. Now, is that wrong that that's how they roll? Maybe yes, maybe no, but if you want the stock to go up, you talk about what you're doing in the AI space. It's that simple. You talk about your cost cutting right now. You know, like you highlight these things because you want the stock price to go up, and everyone's sitting on options, man. Like that's the nature of the game. And at the end of the day, if you're a trader, you don't mind it because it causes volatility. So, like, I'll be happy with it. But you're probably right. It's probably a bit overblown on PayPal.
I just want to clarify what I said there about the PayPal CEO. He came on CNBC last week and talked about revolutionizing the whole payment system, and that they were going to kick the living crap out of AI and can't wait for this great AI boost that they're going to have. That happened yesterday. Oops. And there's like, wait until this announcement, guys. PayPal's going to go, absolutely. not this direction. So he came over and over-promised and under-delivered. And it brought it all the way back to it made for great trading, that's for sure, into there right now. But I just don't really think a CEO should be talking up their book so much and then delivering a better checkout experience. Like there was 4 or 5 things there, all of which were not really major boosters to this. Like he basically talked about tracking consumers better so that they can display better ads to them, talking about making all the purchases in one app. Like it was fine. It's just they didn't really come up with anything. I was expecting them to announce some kind of a deal with somebody, whether or not it be OpenAI or something like that, where they were gonna build on to some sort of a platform or create PayPal into Microsoft Bing or something like that for a payment processing system, but that didn't wind up happening. So I just think like he just overpromised and then well under-delivered. So people that were hoping that PayPal could get going there, they have to suffer the fate a little, because you went to $68 and then like now it's down to 50. Well, it was down to 58 yesterday. Nice move back in here for Google. So Google, we did it again. We didn't get it. Well, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, the chart looks ridiculous. So we just shorted there again. We basically got the high. We got 90s. It went as high as 93 there. We just got a fill at 80s and then a fill at 83. So we're just trying to layer it up right now, trying to get some good fills at the end of the day and see if we can't just start topping it. We'll get at 330. We'll get the imbalances, and we'll have a look then to see where the market goes. XOM, I mean, congratulations everybody in the chat. They're just like, wow, XOM continues to go upside. Yeah, it's been a great afternoon. Great afternoon. XOM really working. That's 5 or 6 straight days up. You've now broken above the 50 period. This is my opinion, a screaming buy here on XOM. I mean, if you like the oil space, we recently, and again, if you're watching the market recap show, not today, you're not. You'll watch it on Monday. And we've been talking about buying XLE and USO at some of these bottoms. So these are good. Is that looks like XOM? But yeah, so that's XLE. So we recently been buying this around $80, now up to 84. It's a long-term hold, just trying to diversify my portfolio.
Just gave me just enough time to put. Someone asked in the chat, does anyone still use PayPal?
I pushed no, but my answer is yes.
So I just put a poll up. Why not? Like, let's see what. Because I actually, like, within the last year, almost everything that I use PayPal for, I more or less don't anymore. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna put no. But I wanted to highlight Bitcoin made this little drop in. It's held 42, but there was a pullback in Bitcoin into support. So if you are, I'm not in Riot, Mara, Coinbase, any of those stocks, but if you are in them, you want to pay attention to that little bit of a dip. I did just jump out of a firm. So, okay, like that rolled back into what is kind of a triple bottom. Like if this is a 3-minute chart, but like if I put this into a 15-minute, you'll get what I'm saying, 1, 2, that's now a triple bottom. So we'll flush that one because it worked, but then keep in mind, what we make on that, ARM's probably this time going to stop back out through that 71 quarter. So that's headed back to the downside.
I don't know what we did to PayPal there.
What happened to PayPal?
I apologize if you're long. I was just trash talking it and the thing dropped like 40 cents, but it has nothing to do with me. I wish it did, and I would just start trash talking all these positions I have. All right, what's up, Brandon?
This segment of the show brought to you by Simpler Trading. Options trading can be a whole lot simpler with the right tools. That's why we recommend you check out Danielle's recommended tools and training bundle for just $47 today.
All right, so yeah, check that out. Definitely go check out Miss Danielle Shea. She was on the program yesterday with me on the market recap show. We had a great time. Miss Danielle Shea short. She was on Tesla. We'll have a look at that in a minute.
So we can have
oh, okay, good. Google right there. So look, it went down to the 50-period moving average, and then look what happened. Boom. Like this is not like when I see the futures doing nothing, these are both 1-minute charts. This is doing this, futures are doing this. It's like, it doesn't make overly a whole heck of a lot of sense. So right now there's not much liquidity in the market. The algos are just pushing these stocks around. I feel like they're gonna be stop hunting. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes back up, but our stop is not, we're not stopping with our stop. It's slightly above 152. If it gets put out, then it gets put out. The fire will be put out on Google temporarily here. But anyways, we had a nice move down, and if we get that again, we'll do that. And we just bought some more 80s, so if it can get into the 80s, we'll do that over and over and over again. And then Coinbase, we could have a quick look on.
What are you doing over there, Ram Ram?
Not a whole heck of a lot going down through that.
Ram Ram, first of all, she gave us the eggs. And
Yeah,
then
good,
second
thank
of
you.
all, she has flashed a gigantic Kit Kat in my face. It's Friday, the market's barely moving. If you throw food in front of me, I'm just gonna be eating, and it's pizza night at my house for movie night tonight.
That's a dangerous
It's
proposition.
already gonna be bad. So I said, like, ARM, for whatever reason, I am gonna stop out if it breaks. We have that shot too. I am gonna stop out if it breaks that quarter. I'm not fighting it. And I'm looking for a firm back to VWAP because that worked. If this bounces off a low and I can short it back at the same price, just do something that's already working. But when we talked about Coinbase just there, Mara just cracked VWAP. So I was looking for a bounce off VWAP. Once Coinbase started to roll over, I'm kind of going to throw that out the window. Toblerone is better than Kit Kat.
Way better.
Yeah? Well, we already have a poll up, so
Kit
what?
Kat-
We'll leave the PayPal. I kind of like Kit Kat more than Toblerone. No? Okay.
The quality. Kit Kat's just overproduced. Kit Kat's like Toblerone's mass-produced as well, but the chocolate's much better, man. You're talking about like an American junk food chocolate bar versus Toblerone.
I love junk food.
Not even.
I love.
I don't know. We can ask right now. I mean, Toblerone to me.
I love Kit Kats.
Yeah, I love Kit Kats too, but I'm just saying Toblerone, like they're not. It's like comparing Intel to Nvidia. It's not. They're not.
Whoa! If you're gonna say that, then you better talk about like some like real.
No, I'm talking about Toblerone.
No, you got to go higher than that. If you're gonna, because
American
Nvidia,
chocolate versus Swiss chocolate.
Nvidia
it's
is
not-
Nvidia. Like
Right.
Nvidia is Nvidia. That's number one. Toblerone is not the best chocolate in the world. It's like Intel and AMD. I think. would be
Oh,
more
that's
effective.
not that much different.
But again, I'll be the first person to tell you. I have like sometimes it's not like I'm not gonna pretend an apple fritter from a donut shop is not the best pastry in the world. Like I love really good, like the cannolis we had are ridiculous. All that being said,
I mean,
if
anything from Italy.
if you give me like one of them treats, like I'm just gonna go to town, son.
The minute
Like,
you
it's
say Italian food, now we're
let's
talking
be
Nvidia
real.
all
It's
over
kind of
again.
like I don't think McDonald's makes a great burger, but sometimes I just need some
right. You need the
McDonald's.
Big Mac for sure.
And straight up, that's how I roll. So Kit Kat's like that for me. And like it's the same. Like you put Snickers in front of me, like
Kinder
it is what
eggs
it
are
is.
good. Kinder eggs are good.
I'm not that big on the Kinder eggs. And from university, JJ.
I don't really like
used
those-
to always have Kinder eggs. So I way too
I don't
much
like
of
the
them in-
prizes in there.
I
My
used to eat
kids
way
get
too
too
many
many,
in
and then they just those little shitty prizes just sit there, and it's like,
Anyways.
what a waste.
I do say apple fritter, like companies say.
Royale with cheese is the best burger of all time.
Oh, word. Oh, word. That's a tasty burger.
Oh, I had.
What was
hold on a
that?
second. I found that.
Oh, okay.
I have the Pulp Fiction picture. I had it.
That was legit.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, do you know what they call a quarter pounder in France?
Yeah, I know exactly what they call it. I'm going to show you what they call it in a second here. Let me just.
We try to have.
Let me just email this
try
to
have
my
some
damn
fun. No,
self.
I know. Sean's about to show you what we did for
Halloween 2 years
Halloween.
ago.
Oh, now it cracks lower.
Huh?
Remember what I was saying? Why did I even go?
Royale
long
with
ARM?
cheese?
So, anyways, Affirm worked. ARM didn't.
All right, here comes the Royale with cheese.
So
Why
I'm
is-
out of ARM. Forget about that one. Is what it is. Probably should have just
Nailing
stuck to the
myself.
guns with the shorts. And we did not. We only got like 30 minutes to go.
Google.
You saw me get out of the position. It should refresh any second now, but there's the out. It does take, sometimes it takes like 5 or 10 seconds. I feel like that's not instant. But I'm out of the ARM position. We should have held on to Affirm. I bet you Upstart's breaking the lows. And that's pulling right back in there.
All right. Adara has never even. Adara, and I don't even think these youngins have any idea about what's about to happen.
Oh,
They've never seen it.
this is,
I'm
you guys
almost-
haven't seen this picture?
No.
Okay.
Nobody has seen. I'm not ready yet for it. I got to download it. I got to get it all ready.
Well, I thought you were ready.
I'm not ready.
We're still building up
Do
to
what
it.
I want to do. This is my thing right now.
Building up to it.
Okay, I'm building up to it. It's because I can't. It's like taking forever to download. It's way too high quality right now. Okay,
It's almost as if your computer needs an upgrade.
almost as if. See, I'm trying to get it so it's in one page.
No
Like, now
lie,
I
they
gotta-
just upgraded both of our PCs.
No, they didn't
Mine-
upgrade the PC, man. We got shitty ass
we
RAM.
got more RAM, fine.
We did not. Nothing
It
got
fixed
upgraded.
all of my issues and somehow didn't fix Sean.
It didn't fix
exactly
anything.
the same PC, exactly the same. Well, I think they did the same thing, but mine's been fine since.
Mine's not fine.
Sean's is not.
It's all good. It's all good, baby, baby. All right.
There you go.
This is about as best as I can do right here. So here we go. This is Pulp Fiction. So we had this going. That's our green screen in the back. This is the actual room for Pulp Fiction.
Right.
I shaved, you know. Not real cigarette, but
I grew up. No, I didn't grow up.
Was good. We had all the right ties. We had everything, and this was a couple Halloweens ago. So that was a hell of a lot of fun. And I just didn't think a lot of people had probably hadn't seen that. So
well,
there
it's a
it is
tradition.
right there.
It's a tradition
And
on the show.
we've
Sean
got
and
the
I don't
Royale
mess
with
around.
cheese.
We don't mess around on Halloween.
Yeah.
Some people around here don't dress up. Just saying.
Who?
Oh, nobody. I actually think Brendan had one of the best costumes, and it could have been a theme because he had the JP Scourge.
Oh no, he did.
No, he had the. Brendan looked exactly like the Rivian CEO. And I don't know if we have it's you
Yeah,
put those two
RJ?
RJ, it's RJ, yeah.
Yeah.
They, like side by side, they look exactly the same. It's almost like you could just do a different CEO every single year.
This year he had a great one. It was like news anchorman outfit. It was great.
That was a good one.
It's great. Well, actually, he's wearing it today. No, but no, Brendan, always the professional, and me and you are the idiots who dress up. But we have lots
$700 million to buy.
700 million to buy. Okay, so by the way, oh shit.
Going.
Right now, here we go. What's up to Dak Prescott, my second favorite quarterback right now. Dak Prescott, thank you so much for allowing us to destroy you in your own home. That was great. Okay, but here we go to the downside right now for Google. And we did it again. So couple shorts, couple wins, back down into the 50-period moving average right there. Let's just keep on going to the downside, baby, and maybe we can have another one. There it is, boom. This Google is now, honestly, because we just got that reload, that was another great price. This is gonna be my third stock. So number one stock today, P&L wise, will be the best, the Qs, the futures. We really, really enjoyed trading that. That was a great trade. My second best name today is going to be Coinbase, P&L wise, and this damage was over with at 9:42. And then entering the building right now is Google. They're saying, listen, we may be late to the party, but as long as we're well-dressed short, it is good to go. And right there, Google right now trying to push a little bit lower. We'll take some more bids out right now. Did he say it was 700 to buy?
Buy side.
Yuck. Okay. Was hoping it was going to come.
However, when I look at the individual early look names, Verizon for $1 million, this is just in New York, so this is not going to include NASDAQ. XOM for 800,000. Like there's really nothing to dig into here in terms of like individual names on the early look. So like XOM's already such a huge run. I mean, 800,000 to buy when it's already done this. Yeah, it's actually pulling back since that drop, pulling back off of those highs. I think I'll be out of Rivian pretty soon. I don't think we get a second. I'm not going to get another shot. I don't think to short a firm. I'm not in that ARM position. So by the way, I showed you guys me getting out of ARM. I'm only in Rivian right now. And if I were to try to jump into something else, I think I'd try to get into a firm on if it makes any kind of pop in the next like 10 to 15 minutes, I'll try to go like a reversion on this one. It's stair step. The reason why should be obvious. Like it's stair step down, and that's basically held like higher lows and lower highs the entire way, with the exception of 42 and VWAP. So as long as it does some kind of a pop where I can find a curl, I'd go for that. Airbnb, Mr. Ducats, I did not. The early look didn't have it anywhere.
Ducats, that's pretty good.
Like I can scroll further. I don't see Airbnb on any of the early looks. But wait a minute, that's a NASDAQ stock anyways, never mind. Yeah, Airbnb's a NASDAQ stock. You only get the early look on the New York exchange.
Right.
Yeah, so that wouldn't, we'll know about Airbnb when it comes out at 350. We're not gonna have any advanced.
But there was some people that were talking before, like they could see it on Thinkorswim or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have a better option for that. Imbalance locator, it might be called like market on close order.
If they have it for NASDAQ stocks, I'd love to be able to see.
Yeah, well, I thought it was Thinkorswim. I think there were some people that were talking about that before, that they had that on TOS.
Here's an idea, Thinkorswim. Give us one of those accounts, and then we'll say it every single day.
Yeah, they probably
that's how we
would.
roll.
They probably would.
Like how many?
I mean, I'm not rolling just for that. I want to, let's show me the money. No. Anyways, yeah, we actually had that coffee sponsor, and then that was it. They sent us some coffee, and that was
Today's show brought to you by Cadbury
right.
Mini Eggs.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Shout out to Kat, who's not feeling that well right now.
Okay, I kind of ate all of these, so yeah, sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, it was. Yeah. All right, Truist Securities maintains buy on Uber. Let me see if anything's going on with Uber right here. As we type, possibly going back up. Yeah, 66 bucks. I mean, great level for Uber. Okay, well, it's fading off of 66, but there it is right there. How did we know that? Because that's the high, and I was like, okay, 66, we like that level, and as you can see why right now, that would have been a great top right there for Uber, 66 bucks. Don't have it, but something else to put on the board coming through again. Like, so many names right now are at or near 52-week highs. So many names. And, you know, whether or not you're going to come out with your report soon or not, like we had Airbnb just rip up to the top side. Is that fading out today? And again, talking about fees and everything and on their currency exchange, this just ripped up there, and look at that, right at those highs. I don't think this is 52-week highs, but it's pretty close, or is it? Yeah, so it's pretty close right now to that 52-week high that was made in the summer. That probably gets taken out. When does Airbnb report? That'd be hilarious if it was today and I just missed it. Feb 20th, so we still got a month to go before Airbnb reports, but again, that's probably taking that high out. Look at the bounce off the 50 period. There's a lot of love for 50 period names. And on that, not for Tesla, it already broke well below that, but this is what's interesting right now because there's the break today on Intel. So that is definitely, for me anyways, a big worry spot now for the chip space. Intel is below it. You're going to see a stock like AMD, which I don't believe is anywhere near. No, it's not.
Oh, not even.
So if you're saying like, okay, Intel dropped down to its 50-period moving average, look what's happening right here. I want to say thanks to Kurt. Kurt in the chat said that the cycle for technology companies is basically 3 years, or to rotate out of from old technology back into new. May have to the upgrade cycle. So if that pays out, man, I mean, if they start talking about potentially weaker demand heading into, like Neil said, 2026, whatever, I think that's going to hit these names, and they could hit it pretty hard coming through. Intel, remember what Intel's quarter was? It was a banger. It was good. They beat everywhere.
Beat top and bottom.
It's just they said we could see a slowdown, and that was like, no growth? Not for me, not in this environment, especially because we still have high rates. So there goes Intel back down in. I say watch out for all of these companies. We've been wrong getting out. And then someone said to me also, was like, hey, you said NVIDIA would go down. What? My prediction at the beginning of the year was to buy NVIDIA. So that's a nice move to the upside. I did sell some at 625 the other day, yesterday or 2 days ago. So I sold some, fine. I don't know if it's going down from here. I'm worried about the stuff I'm talking about. So trying to act and, act as we talk. So that's what that is. And maybe it pulls back, maybe it doesn't. But it's just continued to make moves higher. I did get some out there, and I also got some out at 494 right down here as well. So, I'm not going to pick the tops or the bottoms in anything. The idea is to stay net long, and I'm possibly thinking about buying back, and it's a good thing I didn't buy Intel because I want to buy some names at 50 periods. But Intel obviously cracked, didn't give us that opportunity. Could that happen again to NVIDIA? Maybe. Could NVIDIA get back down to 500 easily? Their last report, this was reporting day for NVIDIA, right? This is what happened. They reported at 512, right? A month later, it was at $400. That was a banger report, by the way. They reported again right here, November 30th, remember? That was 507. Right? What, 2 weeks later, 450. So when's NVIDIA's report again? Just start
21st.
So just keep that in your mind. Guys, do whatever you want.
The only one that I think, the outside of NVIDIA, the only ones that percentage-wise have the most risk on them to the downside, SMCI and Marvell. Because SMCI is just, it's crazy, and Marvell has moved like no other on earnings. Like its moves have been ridiculous in the last year and a half. And it's also, I mean, look at how many of these things, it does, like, look at them all, like, just breaking out off highs. This is already down 3%, by the way, looking relatively weak. Okay, the position board just went again.
Going.
Yeah, I showed you guys, I got out of a firm there. ARM got out as well. Rivian's just kind of holding on to this 20 level. I'm just gonna I'm actually on the offer right here to try and take break even. With 20 minutes left to go, it's just time to get out. This is not really moving, and I'm not really seeing a heck of a lot. It's outside of trying to find a way back in Oh, I actually thought I was going to get a chance here at Affirm. Let me cancel that one. Firm was starting to come back up. I was looking to fade it into 41.50. It actually didn't break 40. I saw it at 40s. Wanted to have my order in there to get swept up if it did make a move up. Instead, Affirm curls further to the downside and just continues to fall. So once again, Affirm flushed. The only good thing is at least halfway through the day went to try to short Affirm, because every single look at the pops on this stock recently. Pop, fade, pop, fade, pop, fade, pop, fade. And then finally today actually look at to trade it after like the third lower high or the fourth lower high. Not even the first, like the fourth lower high on Affirm, when you really all week long, all you had to do, you don't even have to short it at the top. You don't even have to waste your time shorting Affirm at the top. Just whatever, after it's made a top, whatever the second bounce is, short it. Made a top, second bounce, clean short. Made a top, second bounce, clean short. Made a top, second bounce, clean short. 5 days in a row, you don't even have to call the top on Affirm. You just win shorting whatever the next high is. Think about that for a second. That's a stock under pressure. I mean, right now it's headed to the 50 period, holding the 40 level. If this doesn't hold on to 40, bye-bye. That said, it's been holding on to the 40 level pretty decently. So, until then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 3:41 right now. Thank you so much for enjoying the week with us. We've had a good one. Just make sure you do this. What? Make sure you do this. What? All my...
Like and subscribe today.
Did you hit the same
No,
button?
he hit the podcast. You did, right, Ramin? Yeah, she hit the podcast when I think my finger slipped and did that other one. But here, make sure you do this.
Like and subscribe today.
Today. If you don't do it today, do it tomorrow or do it on Monday.
Ramin's having a lot of fun over there on the ones and
She's
twos.
hopped up on that chocolate.
It's because Fabian's running around and she can do whatever she wants right now.
She's about to have a lot of fun on the podcast because today's podcast could be extra long, Ramin. No, it will not be.
guys
It'll
could've
be
had her
extra
on
short. I got a hockey game to go to in Oakville. So the podcast will be a wrap quick time tonight. But stay tuned for that, man. It's going to be a good one. We should have a lot of fun. Breno and I will talk about everything that happened this week. It's a weekly podcast needs to have. Look at this short on Roblox, guys. Wow. Why am I not talking about this? I'm sitting here just waiting for Google to bleed. Meanwhile, it's Roblox that's bleeding down. We almost have $1 on this one. You're coming in for Roblox right now. This is a monster trade, and it was just a short off the 200 period moving average. It started to go down, and we were like, okay, the market is redder. Sorry, Roblox is redder. That's, yeah,
More
that's
red.
a word. More red, less green than the market. So, you know, relatively weak against the market, and we shorted that real early, man. This trade is going to be all day. We shorted it at 10 o'clock. It broke down, and it instantly was in the money, and we were like, wow, this is going a little bit quicker than we thought. So we got a whole bunch out. Then we got some more outs at these same bottoms of the day. Then we broke above the 200. I was like, oh, well, that was a great trade. But now we hold on to that last 10%, and it's all the way down here to 40.30. This is going to be a great trade to end the day. And unfortunately, we should have shorted AMD. We talked about that. But Google's been fine. It's been like a little safety net here. Good shorts, all there, just sort of stopping it up, topping up the day right now. Let's go over and handle some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. Thank you for that.
There you go.
Make sure you double check that. Scan that little QR.
I actually won on a spin.
I know. I already know that. Marissa in the chat is threatening to leave without me tonight, but we've already had this discussion.
And?
Yeah, and she can go. I mean, she needs to. The thing is, the kids need to be there. They need to be there an hour before. That's a hockey card of her.
An hour before the game starts.
Yeah, an hour before the game. They have dry land training. Oh, here's her in Italy. Oh, here's my dog. There's my dog as a puppy. Aww. And see, look, every time there's my daughter.
Hit that one again?
That's her in Italy. Hard to see. Anyways, all right.
It's like you have to hold it, like it's like the distance back you have to.
Yeah. So, all right.
How are you going to leave without him, Marissa? That's
No, because she's the one. If I'm not home in time, she's got to go.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'll just
okay.
drive there.
Yeah,
It's 20 minutes away. My parents are coming
It's
tonight.
Oakville.
It should be good. Marissa actually manages the girls in the locker room. So because the coaches, you have to have a female presence in there. So she does that. And shout outs to you. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
By the way, Marisa. And yeah. All right. Looking forward to a good weekend. All right.
Why Apple down?
Why Apple down? I like when it's not proper English because that's the way I talk.
Well, the last 2 days.
Me no why Apple no down.
No, but the last 2 days is EU, yada 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 EU concerns with the App Store, and so it's been down a couple of days. It was a bounce off 93 for a little bit.
That is why.
Like this, so 1 o'clock. Was it 1 o'clock? Yeah,
Tis
1 o'clock.
why.
1 o'clock, and it's been rolling over. And now it's underneath that 193. So I think 190 is 190's next. Yeah, the 50 period. Wow, that's a lot of dark pool wicks. Oh no, the 50 period's actually closer to 191 now than it is to 190. I suppose like, that was a while back when we were saying the 50 period pullback, but now it's a little tighter to 191. So let's. I still think that's where we're headed now that you're through 193. So probably shorts off that. Cubismo 85, bull or bear Tesla. I'd say bear till bottom of the trend line. That's like every time we talk about Tesla, I just pull up the same thing and say, why aren't we headed here? Why aren't we headed down here? So that's like 165, 170. That's where the trend's headed. 180's got to break first. 180's been an absolute champ. The fact it was so good that when the market's been rolling over, Tesla didn't even want to sniff it today. So nothing doing. I know Tesla's flat on the day, but there was some actual pressure on Tesla today off the highs that just ground like lower highs the whole way through, but it could not take the low. So you didn't even, on a Friday, you didn't even get a retest of the 180 on weakness. I think that's a good sign. That's probably why Rivian didn't absolutely die today and held to 15. That said, it's just slightly above VWAP. So I'm just going to, whatever. If it gets in the 30s, we got to get out of this. This is ridiculous.
All right, 40, 50.
You remember yesterday in the afternoon, I said if Rivian broke that 15.10, like we should see $16 today. Well, that didn't happen. It was based on zooming out and thinking, look at it coil up. Why wouldn't we at least get up to 70s and if not press higher? Well, the best you could get was 15.50 and the best I could get was 15.40. So I'd say that was really disappointing on Rivian and probably just to give you an idea of how weak the EV stocks are. Even when they make a big bottom and they coil up and there should be a relief rally and it's got short interest and all that good stuff, they still don't rally that much. It used to be when Rivian would set up like this, you're looking at a 5 to 10% type a day. And you're up 2 points on Rivian, despite making that big bottom yesterday on the Tesla earnings miss. So I think they're kind of in the penalty box still, based on the price action today.
All right, I'm just tweeting this out because some people were wondering about Roblox, and I just put an out right there, so thank you for reminding me. 40.50, it's just if we take the 50-period moving average, we're going to be out of this one. It's still 80 cents in the money. Nothing to complain about there. Oh, there goes. I was just like, okay, well, I was going to talk about Google next, and then look what just happened to Google out of nowhere. Remember I told you about running stops for absolutely no reason? Look. Like, I just got filled.
What the heck was that?
It's just nothing. It's nonsense. It's just like, we just got filled down there. Like, we just got filled at 79. Oh, there's like a warning here. It was just funny because, like, all of a sudden the market started doing that, and all of a sudden now we get like a warning that, like,
okay, so here's
First of all, if they're going to do an announcement, the guy has to speak English. Like, I have no idea what that guy was saying.
What if he was telling us to evacuate the building because it's like we're on 24 and there's some syntax gas or something?
I literally heard somebing like, blah, 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 blah. Do not go into the lobby. There's some sort of a fire situation happening in the lobby. What just happened?
Seriously,
Like, what was that?
That's not safe. What if that wasn't... Don't use the hot and cold water.
Ramin thinks he said, do not use the hot and cold water because there's a leak in the lobby. So let's just say you're in the bathroom and you have to flush the toilet. I'm not sure exactly what you're supposed to do at that point.
Look, man, when the show finishes and before I go to catch my train, go to the bathroom after we've been on the show, I'm still washing my hands. I don't care about your warning, son. Deal with it in the lobby yourself. Like, what the heck? First of all, that's a legitimate safety issue when you can't understand that announcement. I'm not.
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be all ridiculous about it, but that's not cool.
I mean, the announcement is what it is.
What if
but
what
I
if your pilot could, you know, whatever. You've been on a flight and the pilot says,
Yeah. I don't want to compare like some random dude sitting at the microphone.
get a better microphone.
A pilot would be appropriate there. That was just. But Ramin
Well, it's like
understood it.
on the TTC, it's a problem.
Yeah. See, that's what she's just saying. She knew what he was saying because of the TTC.
No, I was on a TTC. I was on a train this morning, and they were like, "Oh, this train
Stand away from the doors.
It's going
Close
out
the
of
doors,
service
about
or
to
whatnot."
close.
I couldn't understand a word of why.
Please
they
move
were-
away from the doors.
Oh, imbalances.
Balances are now out. All right. Well, what is the number? All right.
Google 1 million sell.
1 million sells. So it's a good thing we ripped up there against
That
me.
makes sense.
Amazon with a nice little buy there. Nice one, actually, coming through for AMZN. So that's starting to spike that name a little bit up to
Where'd that come from?
159.40. Yeah, Google's a sell. All these BRKRs are not anything, so I got to get rid of those. Those are all the broker ones. We have CCL here on the NYSE, of course, with a 635 buy. People were asking us before about Airbnb. There's SoFi with a bid, not really doing too much. But other than that, I don't
Oh,
see.
they were on my screen.
Yeah, I don't see Airbnb. I don't see anything else there. So ACB, a little bit of marijuana there coming through. Other than that, though, that's it, man. Not much happening here today. It's going to be a pretty slow day. ACB is at 40 cents. That's pretty bad. We're about to get stopped out on Roblox, but that's a great trade there. 70 cents in the money. Looks like it wants to take it out.
Oh, we clearly just missed something hilarious.
Please do not flush the toilets.
Yeah. I can't
Tesla.
even.
Yeah, we'll look at Tesla.
By the way, I know Amazon did make a move off that.
Mine Roblox.
It wasn't a huge one, but the Amazon buy and bounce, this is a Fugaze wick, but it did make a bounce above VWAP. Had it broken this 159.50, I think you might have had a reversion trade, but this didn't move enough to the upside on the buy and balance to look for a fade at the close. A lot of times that's something you'd look for. It pairs off and you get a pullback because imbalances are there to get paired off into the close, but it didn't really go enough to even think about a reversion trade. I'm just going to get out of. Let's just get on the midpoint. Here's I'm going to offer 29.5 on Rivian and just to get out of this position. But Alphabet, that is wild because when you have a spike like that, my expectation is it's about to come out of buy and bounce if you spike into it. So the fact that it would come out a sell.
But it ripped.
That's what I'm saying. It ripped to the upside.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a sell, like I don't want to do a fade off the high because if it flips to a buy, which I wouldn't want to short the top and this thing flips to a buy. That would kind of suck. So anyways, I'm going to stay away from this. When you have a good day, good week, all that kind of nonsense, you don't want to throw away at the end of the day. But Coinbase did end up, I want to make sure this is going to be correct when I say it. Oh, no, it didn't hold 42. I was going to say it held that 42, but we're just underneath it. Mara held VWAP after all. So suppose if you took this consolidation trade, good on you. That's about it. The mistake for me this afternoon should be an obvious one. I'm just going to cancel my Affirm offer. I don't want to get the trade with 5 minutes left. The mistake was not finding another entry into Affirm and also getting out of it, and instead going over to stock, which was weak all day. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, all that stuff. And then the second it looks strong, I go into a breakout long on ARM. Yeah, that was a good idea. Sarcastically, obviously.
All right, we are now done. That's that, man. We're done. That's it. We didn't wait for 50s. It pulled back in. I feel like the best I can get is 30. So we just got a 40, or did we get 38? What did we even get there? We got a 39, so kind of in the middle there. So we get a 39 fill there on Roblox. It's a good one. We'll just see what happens now moving forward. Roblox, we're out of it. And by moving forward, I mean the day is done. So I don't really know what we're going to do moving forward. But so far, so good into this close. Let's just wait to see what happens now. The NASDAQ is making a move down. So boom. Pretty uneventful. We did have some nice moves there, but after that, not much happening. Let's just check in on AMD, the trade that we definitely missed. We talked about shorting that at 179. I didn't want to do it. We chose Google. Google was fine. We made money on it. I told you it was a good stock for us today. But that was a missed opportunity right there at 179. Find some consolidation right there, and we just didn't hit it. So that's my bad. 179 there on Google. On AMD. We should have had that. And let me just check in on Apple quickly because that was still positive. No, now it's down exactly the same as the market. So I was trying to find out the correlation there. So 106.62. So now Apple's more aggressively down to the downside. And look at that right there, the 200 period. Oh, like why wasn't I? Why was
Bye-bye.
I was looking all day, I was looking for these 200 period trades, and I guess
And it was there on Apple.
I guess I didn't see that one. So okay, that's we have screeners and scanners.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I missed that one.
I feel like the missed trade might have been Airbnb, simply because the news came out and it just look at the level that it got to on the daily after already being up so much, and then you get like the classic fade off. That's the 151 that you get from the daily chart. The classic fade. It goes up, false break, gets to 151.5, but then look what happens. If you wait for it patiently, it drops and then fails underneath 151 for the rest of the day. So sometimes when you're shorting a level like this, all you see is first time into 151, boom, take that $2. But you can also look at the false breakdown and then the backside of the trade over here where it's just consolidation short. I know at least one person in the chat was taking that trade when Airbnb went absolutely ham. With about 5 minutes to go, obviously the imbalances usually pair off. Amazon clearly paired everything off. I don't even see it anymore. So Apple stayed 1 million to buy. Like I said, Amazon's not even there, so it must have paired the entire thing. Nothing that significant left off. The market is going to end up pretty much where it's a really half. All roads led back to 0.5% down on the NASDAQ, to be honest. It's like you didn't go any further. I thought we had a chance to go further than this, and that just never came into play. But with 4 minutes to go, just a reminder to everybody, there's no market recap show tonight because the podcast is being filmed tonight. You can check that out tomorrow morning, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you want to get it. Hey, you can also scan the QR code below. There you go, and pick it up that way. And you can listen to it anytime you want. You don't have to listen to it Saturday. You can listen to it on Sunday. Maybe it's your Sunday evening thing before you get ready for the trading week, which, by the way, starts off with a bang. Because I thought the only thing on my mind was SoFi in the morning, and I didn't even realize SMCI was after the market on Monday.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be ridiculous. You already know how that sucker can move. But yeah, early morning we'll get SoFi.
So come over here. I tweeted this out.
Yeah.
If you guys
Come to Sean's.
follow me at TraderTV Sean. I tweeted this out if you want to see for next week. Here's my little earnings calendar. I put this together during lunchtime because I have nothing to do. So here we go. Monday, Nucor, SMCI. Tuesday, look at Tuesday. You want to talk about Murderers Row? Boom, boom, boom. Pfizer, you get there as well. UPS, let's see what the transports are up to. Let's see what Starbucks, shout out to my wife, shout out to Starbucks right there. We have to make money on Tuesday for that. We have to pay for those Starbucks drinks. Novo Nordisk, let's see if Ozempic and what's going on there. MasterCard, Novo Nordisk, they're all here, man. There's Boeing on Wednesday. Like, wow, what are they going to talk about? How are these groundings going to affect their planes, their earnings? Look at Apple, okay, what day is bigger, man? I mean, you're going to go with here. Microsoft, Google, AMD, or Apple, Amazon, Meta. I'm going to go with Thursday for me because Merck and Pfizer, Philip Morris, they all cancel each other out. And then Ferrari, I mean, come on, when an Italian company reports, that has to be your favorite day. Then you got XOM on Friday, AbbVie, another dividend aristocrat. We love that. And then Chevron, and then Regeneron. Like, if you're not excited about this, then you're not me or Neil because we're jacked up and we're ready to rock and roll there. Go find it. Big earnings.
I gotta be honest.
Week.
I kind of usually in this earnings week, I usually go with that Amazon Apple.
Yeah, right here.
Being bigger. But because of what AMD has done going into earnings, like that alone, from a volatility perspective,
those three names are
what that could do to the whole chip space. I just feel like that could be the more exciting day because of what the chips have done and what AMD could do if they miss. Right, so we'll see. Either way, the entire week is going to be fantastic. Like, if you're not excited about it, I mean, it's such a great week that they added an extra day in the month of, well, whatever.
February? In
February, so that we can relax and chill out. I think January.
Oh, is this a?
It's a leap year.
Is it? Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
What's cool about the leap year?
Am I allowed to have one of these chocolates now because you ate them all? I mean,
okay, first of all, like.
What?
That was a little bit craven by me eating all of the chocolates. I do feel bad, but those have been sitting there for a while, but they're fine.
Oh, they got dropped in what solution?
I almost ate those. Well, you didn't say that
got
before.
Dropped. I almost ate those.
We almost ate that.
Who wants to see me on a podcast all high on lens solution? That would be hilarious. Can you get high on lens solution?
Yeah, you know what? When you look at this one, it does look kind of messed up.
One day
This
we're
one
going to have
looks
to do
fine,
the
though.
Elon Musk. You know, we'll just light up, we'll spark all these things on the podcast. It'll be hilarious.
How much for me to eat that one?
She's just saying, what about the almonds? All right, we're getting ready to. Everything got dropped. What are you guys doing over there?
Why are you
Okay.
just dropping food in?
All right, it doesn't matter. We only have a
contact
couple
lens solution?
seconds left, and then we'll get this closed. We got the bell going. Neil, get ready to hit that. We are almost done. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolutely fantastic. Neil, 10 seconds. Get
shoot.
ready, man. Stop focusing on food, bro. Here we go with only 10 left. We're getting ready. You get violently sick when you ingest lens solution, apparently. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, ADARA.
Why would you do that? Violently sick if you ingest that?
But you're not ingesting it. That it was. I don't even.
Sean,
it didn't even take the color off.
I
of it.
almost ate it. We were going to eat it. I'm just saying.
You could eat it if you
no,
want
but
to.
no,
I
you
don't
told
think you'll
us
be sick
now
at all.
not to eat it. At the beginning of the show, you didn't say anything about not eating it, Ramin. Okay, no, that's fine.
It's for the viewers. You know, it's
Anyways.
like when you see when they do a McDonald's commercial
goodness.
and they have the Big Mac and it looks so amazing. The thing is, they're really spraying it with oil and Vaseline and all that stuff to make it real nice. They ain't eating that food either.
No, it's
so
not even real food.
This is why they're a professional production team. They make this look so good by dipping the stuff in lens solution before showing it to everybody. We are next level. The production is next level here.
Actually, you know what? All I see is 2 wasted
Or
chocolates.
not at all.
That's all I see. 2 wasted chocolates. Anyways,
There's the bell. Just a lonely bell.
look, I hope you guys had a fun week. It's been an absolute blast. Of course, remember, no market recap tonight. The
Ooh
Bears
la
and
la.
Bulls will take a rest. Maybe they can make an appearance on the podcast.
Doot, 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 doot. Hey, everybody. Hey. You know.
This guy's already asleep.
What are we doing?
Oh, goodness.
Puppet. We're all about everything over here. All right, we got to go.
Let's end it.
Yeah, we have something to film here. Check us out tomorrow on the podcast. To get that little QR code, get it ready to go. Hi, my wife. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to
What's up, Marissa?
Shadera. Sharif and Adara.
Oh, yeah.
Adara. Sharif and Adara, shout out to them. Thank you for a great midday. Shout out to Brendo over there. Ramin, Fabian. Michael Noss came through today as well. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls, the best in the business. Shout out to Neil over here. Some nice trades today, some nice trades all week. We've had a monster week. And
Patrick.
Shout out to Obi, Patrick. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Wayne, Brankles, everybody in the back. Shout out to Kat. We could just keep on going and going, but we cannot because we're already getting it in my ear that we have to wrap this up. So let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. You know what it is. It's Trader TV Live. Monday, you've got the biggest week of earnings that you're going to see. And tomorrow morning, everyone check out that podcast. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Who are they playing?
I don't know. Jets.